tomorrow. Adios.
Take care, guys.
Hey guys, 2 o'clock, welcome back. Yeah, a couple hours left for a Monday that, let's face it, has been very sideways. If you look at the overall market all day long, we are back to positive territory, so that's good, obviously. But if you were not concentrated on individual names that were moving today, would have been a tough day. Back and forth we go for the futures. Here's how things stand right now. 0.44 for the S&P 500. The Dow pushing 0.9% to the upside. NASDAQ 0.42 at this point. TSX here in Toronto, flat day as well, 0.2%. As we said, ahead of what is to come this week. It might be a little bit of a choppy start to the week with the midterms tomorrow, and then we get CPI on Thursday. Make sure you're with us in the pre-market. CPI 8:30 on Thursday will be a huge event. Brazil downside today. Oil did try to go positive at one point, 0.75 right now, 2% I should say for Bitcoin. Ethereum still 3.5 downside. It's been one of those days after a couple of very positive weeks for cryptocurrencies specifically. Here's how the board looks right now. Now 0.53 up there for the overall market. Tech has been in charge most of the day. A number of individual movers here. SEDG, some of the clean energy semiconductors moving around. Downside for Enphase as well, 6%. The rest of the group, though, really not that bad. NXPI, AMAT, I should say, ON Semiconductor there. Micron, if you zoom in really closely, I did see it earlier, but don't right now. We'll talk about some of the semis coming up here. Hardware equipment makers are positive now. The software names still negative because of these three, but the rest unable to really offset that much negativity. This one, VTRS buying that other biotech today, so healthcare stocks catching a bid off of that. That Oyster Pharmaceuticals, I believe it's called, OYST is the ticker that VTRS picked up, so they're up big time. Utilities, the entire group negative, by far the most negative group on the day. Consumer discretionary names, specifically these guys over here. Travel names, Starbucks, not a travel name, but the China effect coming into full effect. Downside today. We'll talk about some of these Chinese names as well. If you missed it during lunchtime, officials once again come out and say, yeah, we're not changing the zero COVID policy. So all of these back to the downside we go. Dish, Meta, Paramount, Warner Brothers should be here somewhere as well. Google, both Google and Goog, green on the day. Netflix, Fox A, downside. So a mixed bag, really. Energy stocks are positive to kick off the week with oil. So we'll see if we can hold on to some gains, much needed, obviously coming off of Thursday and Friday of last week. We get into the weekend with a losing week right across the board. Hope your afternoon is going pretty well. It's been an interesting one. If you were involved in the right names and if you were watching the right names individually, there was a ton of opportunity at the open this morning. We'll talk about a number of names we were discussing in the pre-market to kick things off once again. Sean is here. He's going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey guys, what's up? Hope everyone had a very profitable morning and even more profitable afternoon to come, hopefully, here. I want to talk about something that's very important, and that's going to be paying attention to news releases, right? This morning we had Meta. Meta came out there. I think there was a Bloomberg article talking about how they were going to cut some costs moving forward. And it comes in the form of employees. That kind of sucks. But it's like the first time I've heard in a long time that Meta was about to cut costs. As a shareholder and as I trade Meta pretty much every single day, that's kind of the good news that we're waiting for. A lot of the hate going towards Meta, their costs, they're absolutely out of control. Do they print a lot of cash? Sure, but they're spending way too much. Whether or not it be the metaverse, whether or not it be to try to fight this new iOS, they're spending so much money. So when we came in and saw that report, again, on our watch list, make sure you subscribe to that every single day. I wrote it down here. It's the #1 name. It's Meta. It's 95 long. And it's let's buy some dips into 92. So right away, the very first thing we were thinking about was buying Meta. So with that being said, let's go have a quick look and see what the market was up to today. And if you look down here, right now we're blasting higher. So yeah, Meta just kind of hovering, actually not doing too much right now, kind of surprising. But earlier on, the market was kind of back and forth and not doing a lot. But this is where my new and hopefully improved strategy comes into play. So because 95 got taken in the pre-market, if those of you, not in the pre-market, but right when the market opened up, those of you that were watching, I said, I'm going to take the long, but it's not going to be on a lot of shares. Why? Because playing breakouts And again, I just wanted that 95 level. Playing breakouts is very dangerous because look where we were. We were at 93.50 about 10 minutes before we broke that out, right? So you got to be careful with the volume that comes in during the pre-market as we get close to the open. And remember, at 9:25 every single day, there's market on open imbalances. It came to the north side for Meta, thus popping it. So we get in and we take 80 cents almost right away, but we don't get out of all of them. Then as it falls back down, we take a little bit more here at 94 against VWAP, and then we move it all the way down here to 93.50. Now this is the thing. When this was going down, we still don't have very many shares. And this is what I mean about becoming new and improved as a trader. We're giving this down here. I'm much more looking at time now. Can we develop a bottom or a top? Can something be built that we want to respect? Unfortunately, in Meta, it doesn't really happen today. So all I used was this 200 period, which just happened to be pretty good. It was coinciding. I never use moving averages unless it's sort of bouncing with a support or resistance level. So this one actually comes down and we find this 93 level. When I took this long at like 93.10 or something, we had an idea saying, if we're wrong, we're just going to get out at 93. If it breaks lower, fine. By this time, our average price is probably around 93.50-ish, not more than that, okay? So then as it pops back up, we start to, first of all, get some out around 93.50 for flat. Why? Because it's at the 50 period and at the pre-market high at that time. But then, bingo, it just starts to rip to the upside and starts going up. Then we just start taking out profit all the way through, including our last profit spot right here at 96. Right where we got out the first time. Remember, these longs are 93s, 94s long. There's the out at 96, and we did a much better job of holding more shares so we could get out as it rips up. That this is the other part of it. It's the reload part. So now we let it fade all the way back up and it comes right back in again. Not only against some of these highs, but we also had the 50 period and I believe VWAP at that point. So we kept buying 95s. And then look, we were doing this live on the show. Up, out, up, out, up, out. There's 4 reloads. This is just a 1 minute chart. There's 4 reloads there where we kept scalping in and out at 95. Just like how Tesla was bouncing off 200, we were taking advantage of this bouncing off 95. Our best out 96. Now, oh, there we have an out right there actually. When it broke, that's my best out right there, 96.20 when it broke the 50 period. So there's an out right there. The point of what I'm getting at is twofold. First things, wait until you see some news on something that you think can actually affect the stock price. The second point is be very, very patient with your time of day and when you get in. Because you know what? It's kind of true. It just takes one good trade, right? Like one trade could make your morning or destroy it. If you're patient with it and you kind of know what you're doing, and just like now, I'm kind of thinking, even here, this 95, even if we take a 95 long, we have base down here at 94.50. So this is almost worth taking a long now against about a 60-cent hit. Because if you take off to the upside, the high of the day is $2 away, right? So you're looking for risk to reward. You're looking for good spots to get your money in. And if you're also looking for a prop firm, make sure you click on that little QR code in the bottom there. It takes you to Day Trade the World, who's our #1 sponsor here for the Trade of the Day.
Yeah, great move for Meta this morning. What a move it was. Not only in the pre-market, but right out of the gate. Was top of the list this morning on the watch list, guys. Make sure you're grabbing that every single day. Has everything you need to know in the pre-market, why things are moving. That is the key. We have to understand, as Sean was saying, what is big enough news or fundamental news that can actually move the price of the stock. And as we were saying, the biggest problem with Meta going forward has been this cost issue. I'm just keeping my eye on DWAC here. DWAC just took out the highs. There's a New York Post article circulating, guys, suggesting former President Trump could throw his hat into the ring for 2024 tonight, as soon as 8 p.m. tonight. So just be aware. DWAC, as I said, just took out 27 and has no indication of slowing down at this point. I want to show you this as well while we're at it here. The yields back to the upside today. These are all daily charts. So this is the 10-year over here, testing these highs once again after the dip we had going back over the past week or so. Remember, we got all the way back to 3.9. We're back to 420, Lucas, once again, for the 10-year. 2-year, back to 4.72. I had to remind him. The dollar is, well, downside, which is kind of strange. That was my point in all of this. The dollar back to lows. Typically, these three move one and the same. But good to know ahead of what's to come tomorrow with the primaries and also coming up on Thursday with CPI. I want to talk about big tech here to kick things off. We heard about Meta. Some of the other names within this group, I don't know if we even want to consider big tech or Meta to be in the big tech group anymore, but a lot of people do. Apple downside today. Microsoft standing out as very strong at day highs, in fact, leading the group. Google is also very strong, back to the upside. Amazon lagging a bit. Ahead of what is to come this week, I'll eventually get to the point. Ahead of what is to come this week with the primaries and with CPI on Thursday, we have to focus on what is happening with big tech here, guys. Also, hey, Luca is in for Neil this afternoon. Always good to have him aboard.
Oh, man, you spoiled it. You spoiled it. There's Luca. Yeah, I was going to drop that bomb as well, but you guys kind of saw on the bottom there. Always a pleasure to have Luca here. How's it going?
What's going on, everyone? Hopefully everyone having a great day, enjoying the day, doing well on the day, and, you know, drinking your espresso as well.
You know the good thing about having you on with me here is I don't need to talk as much. Because you'll be taking it over. But no, man, it's always great. Neil had to run, so everything's fine. We'll see about tomorrow for Neil, but it's great to have Luca in the building right now. And, you know, that's part of what we do best here, right? Lots of different trade ideas, lots of different personalities and stuff like that. So it's obviously great to have my paisan here beside me, ready to rock and roll. Oh, I saw Prad. You guys were out, you know, some bar hopping there on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Any stories? I have no idea. How was the night?
It was good. It was a lot of fun. You know,
good.
Always a good time when everybody comes together. You know, a couple drinks.
I saw that. I was crazy jealous. I was sitting there watching Tom and Jerry on Netflix with my kids.
Good in its own way.
Great in its own way. But
yeah.
I was watching Prad's Instagram. I'm like, okay, all these jokers are out here having a great time. So happy belated birthday. It's always espresso time, Frank. We're not messing around. But all right, just quickly here, and I just want to talk about one name, big tech. Good, perfect. Not too many techs bigger than the biggest EV maker around, Tesla. We've already done really well on Tesla today. Unfortunately, our biggest trade, we only had one, was 201 short. It did go all the way down to 197, 450 in the money. We didn't take it. We wound up taking $1 there. Let me see if I can zoom in quickly on Tesla. This was just a 200 break. We talked about it barcoding here for a while at 200. That's exactly what it did. Didn't do much. So we take 50 cents on the first piece, $1 on the second, and then we get out on the 200 break high. That seems like it was the wrong decision there because we did start to go down as soon as we got out off that. But right now we're back into Tesla. Why? Because it's for the first time took the 200 period. So it took the 200 period, we went long, and I'm going to say let's see if Tesla can recover a little bit here, especially if the market's going to take off like it is. You were busy making trades, but I gave Randy hell for turning this bear over into the bull over into a bear. So right now we're going to see if Tesla wants to go. We're 30 cents in the money right now. I'll probably take one piece out right now, and then see if Tesla gets back up to through that $200 level.
Yeah, kind of crazy. You know, I'm currently short Tesla right now, but it does feel like the right idea to cover this. I'm kind of playing off of that 200 level, so I'm going to stick to the level here. And if we break 200, which sort of feels like that's going to be the case, overall ES ripping higher. I mean, easily we could get to that 200 point. Also short Apple. Not sure if that's the right call, going for high a day, playing off that level as well. Just kind of sideways action here. And yeah, you know, just covering my quick positions here. Long DWAC. I think. I mean, you know, this one target the moon. Let's just say that much.
I wanted to mention some of the Chinese names here to kick things off this afternoon as well. Because once again, this is about, I was going to count here, I think it's 3 or 4 days in a row. We gap higher or gap lower, and then the gap just gets faded. And once again, today, media in China comes out and reports essentially that officials are looking or investigating ways as to how they could possibly adjust this zero COVID policy, so it would be a little bit better for businesses and support the economy overall. Officials then come out again this afternoon and say, nope, that's not happening. We talked about Apple this morning in the sense that Foxconn is going to be an issue for them. So now Chinese officials, guys, saying no change is coming for zero COVID once again. So here we are, Alibaba basically back to flat after fading that early gap once again.
All right, so look, I mean, this zero COVID policy in China is going to continue to be a hindrance for any manufacturing company that's out there. I mean, whether or not it be Nike, whether or not it be you know, some of these semiconductors that have parts made there, whether or not it be Tesla. I mean, you know, Tesla has a Shanghai plant as well. But we're going to look at Alibaba. You know, today, I mean, it's a reversal, right? I mean, Brendan just said there was talk about change in policy. We were initially trying to go long Alibaba. And now that I look at it, we are, oh yeah, we're down a cup of coffee. We talked about that. Wow, look at AMD start to go right now as well, back up to the upside. Good trade there. Tesla started to go. Luca, I don't know where you were going to decide to cover that. But Alibaba, I was liking it at this 70 level. And why? It's just simply put here. We zoomed in on the daily chart. It took this level down, and now we're above it. So I thought that 70 could hold, especially if we ripped through. So that was my initial trade here, was we got long, we got out. It was actually a good long, and we averaged in pretty nicely. But if we zoom in here, and again, you know, that's the one thing we do on this show. We don't hide our trades. There it is right there, that last long. We tried 69.50 again. It broke, and we got out. So that's our last long, creating a loss for us on Alibaba. We loaded up. We had a lot of shares on. It broke down. We lost 20 cents, and we actually wound up losing on the trade. So that's how many shares I had down there. It seems like it was right. You're back up to 70 bucks, but I'd rather stay away from these names and just stick with, you know, some of these COVID positive. No, I don't want to say that. COVID non-restricted policies from governments. So, you know, I think if you stick with names that are not Chinese, you might have a little bit of a better leeway on that as far as COVID products and policies are concerned. So that's my little thought there. Did you trade any?
You know, just to comment.
ADRs?
No, but just to comment quickly on the Alibaba play, that 72 level is super solid, and I think if it sets itself up again anytime in the future, you know, have a look there, right? Just faded right off the morning off that 72, even yesterday on Friday. And I want to shout out Ian. You know, he had an absolute banger short on that 72 level on Friday. Really solid. So yeah, I definitely keep an eye on that. And kind of same theme there with NEO as well, right? NEO kind of inching up, gapping up. You know, I can't remember who it was, but maybe Goldman saying, you know, these names have room to move to the upside. And, you know, as soon as they release a statement like that, I'm thinking maybe the short might be in. And, you know, this NEO today obviously kind of fading, reversing that whole move with everything else there. Not really too sure what to think. I think maybe that 10 level comes into play again. But, yeah, for sure, that overhead level of 15 is interesting. We are far away right now, but if we do get up to, you know, 15, 16, has that similar setup where you got that resistance level. If we get there, maybe go sideways, probably get a real good trade if it does set itself up.
A lot of people focused on DWAC here, so let's go talk about it. Why don't we? Digital World Acquisition Corporation just taking out highs once again. Tags 28 at the high there, up 55 now. This volume spike I want to touch on here came right when that New York Post article popped up. New York Post suggesting the announcement, the 2024 announcement, could come as soon as tonight at an event in Ohio, ahead, in fact, of the midterm. So another push to 28 here, guys. A monster day for DWAC.
Yeah, you know, absolute monster day on this name here. And, you know, anytime, this is the thing, right? You kind of anticipated that Trump is, you know, going to announce that he's going to run and whatever. And, you know, I'm not a political guy, but, you know, I love the market. And I just think, how can I make a play on this? And, you know, kind of waiting. And then, boom, all of a sudden, now you get the volume coming through, right? Volume coming in, move just getting started here. And I think, you know, there's definitely room to go. And I want to, you know, comment quickly on the daily on this because we are now above the 50 period. We are running, and I'm looking, where's overhead resistance on this name? Maybe you get the 30 level, you know, 30, call it 32 to 34. If we clear 35, I mean, you're going back and you're, you know, it's obviously had its downtrend, but, you know, if we clear 35, I just feel like these levels are just so far back, you know, maybe not really going to act that much as resistance. So I really don't know, how high this can go. I don't know if we're going to see multi-day runners on this thing. You know, the volume is definitely there. It's definitely exciting. And I'm sure, you know, we'll be trading DWAC tomorrow and perhaps even the next day. So this thing is super exciting. I'm currently long at 26.51. And I think we get a push to 30 today. That's kind of my gut feeling. So I'm trying to hold on to that one. And as long as this thing stays above the 50 period, you know, the trend is your friend. So let's just put it that way.
We had someone send in an email because they thought we were talking too much politics. But I do want to make sure, I want to make something perfectly clear to everybody here before we go on. Hall's pretty good. I tweeted that out there. We got a little sore throat action here. Not suitable for young children. Okay, keep that in mind. And the other thing is that, like, when we're talking about this stuff, Luca's not long because he believes that the Republican Party is going to win the election
Yeah, like
or
I'm
anything like
a
that.
Canadian, so.
Regardless, yeah, and we're Canadian. That's a different story about politics. Let's not get into Canadian politics. We're just, we do try our best to keep, and I'm being serious, we do try our best to keep out of all of the politics. We respect whatever way you guys think. Has nothing to do with that. We know it's a polarizing situation, especially in the last 10 years or so. So we stay away, and all we try to do is trade momentum and look at stocks for you and give our best advice, right? Now, whether or not, and again, some comments we'll make I don't know, will Trump even get the nomination? I think that's another thing too for the Republican Party. And those of you watching would know more about that than I do. So I feel like this is why you're trading DWAC, right? This is why you hold the stock, is for news like this. So if President Trump's going to come out today, this is the kind of action you're doing. And I give mad respect to Luca, man. Waited, be patient, wait for names that move. Just like I was trading Meta when they had news. This morning, DWAC is what? It's on our watch list. I think one of 5 names on the watch list. So definitely some action there for DWAC. As you can, it's Digital World Acquisition Corp. I don't know when they're switching over their symbol, let alone what their symbol would even be. But here it is on a 20-minute. We're way up above. These wicks, I don't think happened this morning at 8:30 up to $30. We could try to confirm that as well. I don't think that matters when you get strong wicks like that. So I'm just going to look at a daily chart here to try to figure out what some key levels will be. Right there, you just saw it pop in. That 32 level, it's actually 33.50 the more that I see this here on Digital World. And I'm bringing this up because I think it can get to it, right? So right there, 33.50 is a drop-down spot there back in April, and it's where we stopped before dropping back into $15 here recently back in September. So that high of 33.50, I think we can get to that with DWAC, especially on some of this news. Let's just put this into perspective here. What if President Trump, and I've already clarified, you're still calling former presidents president. So again, hopefully he doesn't come back and bite us again. But President Trump has said, what if he announces right now that he's back? And wants to throw his hat into the ring. So what does DWAC do? I think it just rips even higher than this. So I like the long. I think if you're in it and you got a good price like that, sure, have some outs, but I don't think it's horrible to hold something for the ride. 19 million shares, volume definitely picking up in the last hour. So yeah, Luca might be right. He might be onto something here. There is something going on. I'm going to go long on a 28 break. So right here, that's a level that we just stopped at. And I'm going to get out if we take down 27 on the downside. I want to be part of this same way. So let's go long DWAC if we break 28. Let's try to be smart about it and get out either at the 50 period or at a 27 break. So I think you got to look for stocks that are moving.
Exactly. Traders need stocks that are moving. Opinions don't matter. Let's talk about Palantir. We got earnings finally from PLTR, another retail favorite in the pre-market this morning. Not a bad report overall. However, hasn't been a great day for Palantir. Big move back to the downside, guys, even as they post decent earnings overall.
So I see some people, what's up to, who said that in the chat there? Yeah, there it is. Oh, Swamp Rat. I like that name. I was looking for Fisherman's Friend. There was only Halls at Shoppers where we went there right behind us. So yeah, I don't know. I should have asked somebody for something a little bit stronger, but it's working out fine. I lost my voice over the weekend somehow. I have no idea. Was yelling at kids for curling. Was at 6 different rinks this weekend between hockey, and it was cold. Did you see the weather this weekend, by the way? It was 20 degrees.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It's I was torn between wearing gym t-shirt laundry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wearing that to the game there. The white, I know they're called something beaters, and I don't want to say them on the air here, but you wear one of those and you're going into the hockey rink and you're freezing like crazy the very next minute. So I think I must have lost my voice yelling and screaming, but I feel completely fine. I want to thank Luca for stepping in one more time here for Neil this afternoon. All right, so Palantir. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, what's up?
Palantir.
What's up to Palantir? Wow, Palantir. Let's do this right off the open here. Flush it down the toilet. Brad got me this hat about a year and a half ago. Palantir investor. Should have burned it when he gave it to me there. It would be better than holding on to some of these stocks. But look, again, EPS of... That wasn't even really that funny. I think he's probably laughing at something else. Palantir was, They beat by 1 cent. Their EPS was fine. They guided better than expected. But again, a name that's not making any money. It's a 30-year-old company. They did a direct listing at $9. They're well below that level. They continue to get hit. My trade early was pretty simple, man. We were up here at $8. Now, we've seen this happen before. Remember when SoFi came out? They were up 18% in the pre-market, finished red. Palantir was never up on the day, but you're down another 11% and still making moves lower. I was in and out of this faster than, I can't think of anything appropriate, but in and out of this pretty quickly there. And we got in at 775. The minute it broke 750, we were gone. And it's basically just been disrespecting all day, down here to 690. Still wants to go down. Oh, I did try it in here at 710 right before we left for the midday show. We tried it there, didn't work, we got out. Since then, man, it's just downside. It's not nice. Palantir continues to disappoint. When you're looking at a daily chart, you're right back here into the all-time lows, basically, of 650. So, unfortunately, Miss Kathy Wood and myself have to sit here and hold on to our Palantir shares for yet another quarter until something dramatically changes. So, I'm negative on the stock here. It's not a great position, and they continue to disappoint. Not much else to say about Palantir.
Yeah, and one thing I want to comment just quickly on Palantir is that 10 level. You know, looking at Palantir, I was excited coming into today. I'm like, oh man, if 10 sets itself up in some way, shape, or form, then, you know, you play off that level and it'll be solid. I think the worst case scenario is kind of what happened. You know, didn't really move on earnings, kind of faded right off the open. I think if you had the short right off the open, it was a great short, and you kind of hold that. And, you know, this is a name that you could definitely trade size on and manage your risk a little bit better. And that morning fade was super clean, right? You catch that short anywhere around here, anywhere above the 750 level, you know, you're holding on to that all the way down, especially if that's your main focus of the day. But, yeah, you know, I really was excited to see that 10 in play. And I mean, I'm surprised that Palantir is just remaining suppressed for so long. Like, this is near lows. I think the low is like, what, like 650? So kind of feels like we're going to get a 650 test maybe tomorrow or the next day. You know, lots of volume coming into this. So yeah, I'm just surprised and disappointed. And yeah, it was a no trade for myself on the day. Yeah, maybe 10, put that one on ice until the future.
I was going to mention, I put Microsoft up there, guys, but I just saw this popping up. We talked a little bit about big tech. I just saw this, Coinbase. Trying to take out this high here, 56.75, 57 area, which was that support on the way back down. Huge down day for coin. Yes, Bitcoin is negative on the session, but overall, this has been weaker than Bitcoin all day long. 56 held there, trying to break to the upside. Coin looking interesting here.
You know what, I was just looking at, you know what's looking interesting is Netflix was looking really interesting at the high of the day. It's funny because should have gone long Netflix, like I'd be multiple dollars in the money if I went long Netflix the same time I went long Tesla. Tesla appears to be a little broken to me right now. Might have to get out of that one. Damn it, that sucks. That sucks about Netflix because, that sucks about Tesla. It should be way higher based on what I'm seeing in this market as we take out highs. I would have thought Tesla would have gone up a couple bucks, and it's not, man. We're in the money 50 cents on Tesla. Like, give me a break. That's disappointing. Okay. Coinbase, did you say it was up today? No, it's making a nice move right now, I guess. Yeah, so wow. Okay, Coinbase. I'm very slanted on this stock. You know, my opinion is always to go short on this name. I just, you know, not impressed with anything that they really ever deliver. I always feel like, you know, the fact that it moves with Bitcoin just makes me want to own Bitcoin more than Coinbase. Like, is Bitcoin going to go, and I have the Bitcoin bull right beside me right now, you know, thinking that Bitcoin's going to go back up to 100,000, 50,000, something like that. And it might do that. I feel stronger about Bitcoin doubling than I would about Coinbase doubling. So for me, I think you just kind of play off some of these levels. Like right here is a perfect example. This is the 50 period. Look at it, just down, 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 down. It breaks it. You go long. Like, I feel like as long as you're just watching some of these technical levels on Coinbase, then you could be fine. You're still right back here at the bottom. This is really why I don't trust it. Like, look how violently it can move up. Like, so, okay, so their earnings come out, news comes out, crypto goes up. So you go from $63 up to $78. So you rip up like 25%, only to now have 9 straight down days. Like, I feel like you don't get the swings like this in BTC. So I'd rather, if I'm going to hold Coinbase because I feel like there's a future in crypto, then screw it. I'd rather hold HUD 8. I'd rather hold the coins themselves and just keep averaging into hell for those coins rather than taking out Coinbase. So I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't like Coinbase at these levels. So maybe you have a different opinion, but for me, it's stay away from that. You can trade GBTC, ETHE, people talking about BITO, all these kind of things. Like, I don't know. Why, if you're negative on crypto space, and you're allowed to be that, like, why would you worry then about this little bump up? Like, you would just lose 30% there for no reason. $60 to 80? You don't need to lose that money. So if you just held crypto, like Bitcoin went up like 3 or 4 grand, you wouldn't get out of that. And now it's all the way back down. So for me, I have a love-hate relationship with Coinbase. And by love-hate, I mean just the latter.
Yeah, and I think maybe Coin, there's some sympathy there. FTX, anybody following the crypto space, FTX versus Binance, who's going to come out ahead? Maybe there's some liquidity issues on either or of the side there. And, I think there's one of the coins that's kind of, there's something going on. And again, I'm not a crypto trader. I don't really look too much into it. But I have obviously friends in the space who I talk to, and they're telling me that maybe a battle. We had Sam on the show maybe a few months back, and I'm not really sure. I know he's buying a lot of firms, right? Buying a lot of firms. So yeah, rates are going up, and it's maybe there's an inherent issue. Obviously not with any specific firm, but when two big companies go head to head, man. Obviously, things get spicy there. So, maybe sympathy play on Coin today. That's why it's down so much. That's why you had this kind of drawdown. And I sort of hate myself for not taking the short today because obviously, but hindsight 2020, it is what it is. Just to quickly cover here, DWAC is now, it pushed 29. It pushed 29. I'm still holding the majority of this position, and I'm just like, I have to pay myself along the way because, and I think somebody in the chat was saying it too. They're like, do I hold? Is the rug coming? And I'm like, I don't know, man. But I think safe to say that on these particular moves, like this is a very clean retail type move in my opinion, where it's very strong, it's holding trend, and you get just this very, very sharp move up. So call it a potential retail move. Call it a potential, buy the rumor, sell the news. Call it maybe there's call options expiring at 30 this week that, you get some type of gamma squeeze into that 30 level. Like these are sharp moves up, right? So how to avoid that? Pay yourself along the way. You take 100% of the position, take 10%, take 15%, take 20%, take 30%. Now, if we draw back down on that, I'm not worried. And if we get back, maybe I even add because I paid myself, I can add it back. That's risk management, right? So hopefully you guys are doing the same. Yeah, exactly. Don't rug me, bro. I don't want to get rugged right now, like live. So that's why I'm thinking to myself, I got to watch this very, very closely. But kind of feels like that 30 level is going to get tested. I've seen these moves before, but for whatever reason, just want to mention quickly, obviously, we could pull back as fast as we go up, we could come right back down. And keep in mind this, the 50 period, the blue line, this is the average, right? We had the run up, we tested it, then we went up again. We could easily be back at 27 in no time. And as I say that in real time, I'm watching this thing drop, which, not a big deal because obviously pay yourself along the way, right? So trying to hold out for that 30, and then I think I'll hold a piece if we break 30. I think, Sean, you mentioned 32-ish. That sounds about right to me. So, if we get to 32, I'll probably be out of the full position. But again, it is DWAC. Who knows how high this thing can go? And I'm still holding on to this Tesla. I'm just sort of building into this, thinking that if we get a chance to break through that 200, then yeah, maybe we run to VWAP. It stayed below VWAP, so I'm obviously managing my expectations with this one. But yeah, 2 longs on board. The market is now above that 38.05, so definitely interesting. And yeah, we'll see where this thing goes.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Mike, and Shock Industry and all that, man. It's funny because I said I would talk less, and I just spoke for 10 minutes there. So thanks for that. Sometimes passion gets the best of me. But all right, here we go. NASDAQ, 11,000. Let's go. Nice little move there for the NASDAQ today. I'm officially turning this around. Randy be damned. I knew it was wrong in the first place when we had this into a bear when the market was heading to the downside. It could still be bearish. You want to do a poll? Maybe we'll do a poll. You guys think it's going to go red today? I don't know. Is that worth it? Do you think people will select that? We could still go red or in the power hour in a couple minutes here. So there it is. All right, we'll go bullish here in the market. Okay. I don't know if it's a good sign that Luca and I are both long. Tesla, you flipped from short to long, right?
I was initially short, and then I said, and you're like, I think the long, and I'm like,
I know, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you say, I was thinking long, like me, because I would rather have your opinion, because if I'm already thinking long, I don't want to get caught. Like, and part of the thing is too, is being here on the floor, there is groupthink a little bit, right? And it's like, sometimes I hear Pratt and Luca and Sharif and all that talk on the midday show. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Like, they're short, I'm long, but the case can be built for both ways is what I'm getting at, right? It's like sometimes you get caught going one way and not the other. But we've been doing well on, like I said, we're 1 for 1 today on our idea here for Tesla. I'm just upset that it's not up more. So that's, that's the only thing that I'm upset about. We went long into there, and I said to Luca too, this is right before I went in for the trade of the day. I was like, you watch, this is gonna be the high of the day. We weren't getting out until we broke back down below here, 198.50. So we are giving this about 50 cents. We're now in the money, 60 cents. But it went up to 190, went up to $2. I decided I'm going to take it out at $200.50 is where I'm going to take out a piece. Why? That's right where VWAP is. Let's go. We already took the 200 out. We took the 50 period out. I still think Tesla can go a little bit higher here. Let's see if that goes for sure. My number one stock, though, we talked about it earlier, was Meta today. Meta's been fantastic. We just made 2 trades, long early and then long off that resistance level. I did say when we were doing the trade of the day, though, that we wanted to look at this 95 level. That's held. We did have an opportunity to get back long there at 210. We didn't do that. Now you're up 70 cents. What about this kind of a break right there? 95.85 or so on Meta. Come on, let's go Tesla. We're getting pretty close to that, taking out some more highs here to the upside. But you know what hit today, Luca, for Tesla? What happens once a year to each stock?
Once a year.
Yeah. It makes a brand new 52-week low. And
Once
that's
a year.
Once a year happens every stock.
I don't think Meta got the memo on that.
No, that's true. But, well, every time they had a new 52-week low, it's a 52-week low, but you're right. Good catch. Tesla made it today. So it just hit 198.50. So they hit that today. That's their brand new 52-week low for Tesla. That is split adjusted and everything. So that's that's sort of what puts me for pause to concern a little bit here on Tesla, is the fact that it already hit its 52-week low. So any kind of bounce off here is nice. But that 52-week low today, before today, was 198.59. So we touched, did we touch that? I don't know if we touched that. I don't think we did. Let me call up a 3-minute chart here. Were you watching Tesla? Yeah, you were watching. Yeah.
I don't
think
it didn't.
Did. No, yeah, we got 196.60. So the new 52-week low according to eSignal is 196.60. We didn't touch that one, but yeah, that's what I was getting at there and just screwed it up, is that right now, today, for the first time this year, and I guess it must have hit a 52-week low on Friday as well. It hit a brand new 52-week low today, so that's tough. We're bouncing off, just like we bounced off 200 to the upside. Seems like we're having a little bit of to the downside. Seems like we're having a problem breaking it now to the upside. That's a couple minutes here. We tested it right there at 200. We made it all the way back. I feel like, and Luca, I'm gonna do this myself, but I feel like this is a little silly not getting something out right here because we've already seen this top. I'm now going to cancel that VWAP out that we had because I want to take another piece right here. I'm going to cancel that and take a piece right here at 199.90. Hopefully we can get up there and get filled. But just notice that. That's twice we've topped out here. Not worth taking the risk in case this market folds back. Let's get another piece out here of Tesla.
See, my thoughts, and going back to, being on a trading floor, it's great, right? You got difference of opinions, you got different type of traders, different type of approaches. Some people scalp, some people intraday swing, they hold on for longer. And, looking at Tesla, it's what I tell myself is if I'm thinking short Tesla and then I'm like, oh, I don't know, I should probably cover my short here. And then Sean flips long, I go, well, normally I wouldn't maybe not get long, but I do like the idea. I mean, you got to sort of double top here. And this is just a flip side kind of perspective. The ES is now over that 38.05. And Ruin mentioned it this morning. This was actually the top from last week, that 38.05. We ran into 38.05. We sort of topped out. We did not break 38.10. I know a lot of other futures traders that I was talking with were mentioning, that 38.05 to 38.10. If we clear 38.10, we have room to go. We could grind all the way up 38.30 maybe. I hope my numbers are right here. And anyways, everybody remembers that Friday move. We came on, Brad came on, sat down, and that was just an instant flush to the downside, kind of crazy. Today, we didn't even break 3,800. We tapped it, we sort of went sideways. Now we're actually getting above. So, going into that 3,800 level, saying, I like the short, I'm playing off of 3,800. Now that we flip and we're above 38.05. Now we're above 38.10. I mean, anything can happen. Everyone knows midterms are coming along tomorrow. Again, I'm not a political guy. I have no idea what the chances are of who's going to win and kind of how that plays itself out. Keep in mind that 200 is obviously a significant level on Tesla, right? So you have the 200 level, you have VWAP above. It is rejecting that level. My sort of thesis on this is that because we are now breaking the high, because we are going into midterms, we're going to get whips, we're going to get moves, they're going to be trendy. And so having this long on Tesla going into 200, it makes sense to get some out at 200. It does. You know, you got scaled size at 200, you got maybe a little bit of size just above 200. But if we do get through this, we probably get a VWAP test. And if we get through 201 for whatever reason, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that I've seen, you know, super squeezed to the upside. Now, this is kind of being very, very ambitious. You know, like, are we going to break 200, break VWAP at the end of the day and run? I have no idea. Somebody in the chat was saying, you know, it's lagging, right? It lags the market. The market's going up. Tesla's going up very slow. Then it might follow. I have no idea. I think for myself, I have a decent average on it. I'm going to try and hold, but again, I will not be stubborn with this one. If this moves against me for whatever reason, I'm going to get out. But yeah, I'm going to try to hold for that VWAP test on this. We'll see what happens. That's not a thesis, bro. I mean, maybe I butchered it a bit, but it is in my own head. It is in my own head, and that's the thing. It needs to make sense to you guys. Obviously, that's how, you know, you do well. Somebody was also mentioning Netflix, which is something I didn't trade today, but I think it was Neil who brought it up this morning and made a good point. And I want to pull up the daily on Netflix because obviously they had the earnings run. They broke through that 250 level. And I mentioned last week to myself, and maybe I said it out loud on the show, 250 is definitely an area of interest, right? We get to 250, we get close enough to 250, you know, justify a trade. This morning didn't actually get there, and I was trying to be extra patient because, you know, we are going into midterms. There is CPI coming out on Thursday. Things are going to move, right? You definitely don't want to be on the wrong side of things. And dipping to that 252 and then bouncing. And this is the daily, right? Look at the 50 period. It is riding the 50 period. You had the move up. Now it's back at 250. Are we going to get a little bit of bounces? Do we get a relief bounce to 280? This obviously depends on what the overall market wants to do, but I think that 250 with the 50 period lining itself up with overhead resistance prior, then breaking with the earnings catalyst to the upside, now that retest, I almost want to say that, you know, relief bounce, right? You've had all these red days. You could flip it and say, okay, when's first green day, right? When is first green day? Maybe it sets itself up. Maybe the long can't be wrong there. So definitely a good look on Netflix. You know, I'm probably not going to trade it today because, again, we didn't come in close enough to that 250 for myself to make the risk make sense on a day trade. But, you know, at this point, it's probably sideways, right? It's just the sell-off. Now VWAP, we probably go back to VWAP. That'll just be my guess. Tesla going back to even here, so definitely got to watch that one. And long meta with the idea that maybe we break through 96 and run to a high a day. Again, this is the overall bias kind of coinciding with the market bet. We are above 38.05. We are above 38.10. If we continue to grind higher, I want to be long, so that's why I'm not really short anything except for coin. And shout out to whoever called. I can't remember if you were saying cover the coin short or cover the coin long. I brought it up. I pulled it up again, and I think I like the short in front of VWAP. This is basically trying to get scaled in so my average is closer to VWAP. If we break like 58.50 on this, you know, you probably get some resistance, like some real resistance going into 59. But, you know, starter position right now, we could easily flush back down. And, I mean, you know, maybe good for 2 points, right? Maybe good for a point, maybe good for 2 points. So short this name, currently working for basically flat, like 14 cents, nothing crazy. And, yeah, Tesla now going back to the downside. So maybe, Sean, you're right to cover some over there. But, again, you know, I'm going to use that 199 for myself. If we break through that 199, then I'll probably be covering this one.
Hey, great minds think alike. Let's not let that money run through our money laundromat too much there. I'm going to get out as well on a 199 break. So good talk on there. We've already cashed out of it like we just talked. And I'm not going to talk about the same names as Luca. Just wanted to give everyone an update that I'm debating getting out right here. We finally take out that 50 period right there to the upside, but it was more the 200 take. So I could realistically hold it back, and that's exactly where it is. So if we're going to take a 200 break long, we missed it. Like I said, we weren't sitting. Should have been. I was focusing on the trade of the day. So we should have had this about 30 cents better than we do have it. But there's the 200 break. And if it comes back in, we're going to get out. That's a 199 break to the downside. So, so far, so good on that one. All right. So Brendan has mentioned it a couple times now in the chat about DWAC, and I put it in, I didn't mean to put it in caps, but I was like, I'm in. So I'm in now into DWAC finally. I misspoke because I didn't have I didn't have the stop order in. Remember I said I wanted 28 longs? I should have gone long right there when it first broke 28, went up to 29. We would have taken a piece out on that. So now I'm going to probably do that again. But I'm only in right here. Let's see if we take out 29. So I'm in this name to 32. So if it halts, I want to see that 32 level. I like this. If you're going to trade this, it's pretty simple for me. I put my out breaking through 27. So breaking through down here. But look, this is why we draw lines, not just to look pretty. I mean, it looks pretty, but is for an out, right? And so, you know, we took it right there. That should have been the long down there when you took the 50 period. And now we're going to wait to see. For me, normally we use 50 periods for trend change, but today the trend's only been really to the upside. So I'm just going to try to use it for support and resistance. Like if it comes down and breaks that, we'll give it a little bit more love to the downside. So that would be 27 flat, right? The 50 period here is at 27.40. I just said I got to get some more tea. I'm going to do that in a minute. That 27.40 downside there looks pretty good, but I'm going to wait for it to break 27 to get out. So I want to hold this. Look, I know I'm not going to offer till 30. So for me, it's $2 up or $1 down. So worth it for me on that one. But we also have. That siren means multiple things, by the way, Lucas. So,
yeah, I'm wondering what this means. I'm like, okay,
well, it just means
profits,
whatever.
let's go.
Yeah. So it means, generally speaking, new position.
Okay, I see.
It also means like, hey, when we have Prad's beat, I want to hear that beat again at some point too. Because it also means like there's a DJ. You know when you're in a club?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're probably in all the time, not me.
Yeah.
You know, you get to hear those, you know, those rewind, bullet, and they throw that in there. But all right, so Google's coming up to a pretty key level there. Again, 89. You know, we've seen $90 before. Where's my 20-minute? Here it is right here. This is where it looks a little bit better if you guys want to be convinced of this short. I don't know if I'm convinced or not, but this goes all the way back to the second right there where 89 was key. We missed it. It dropped all the way down to 83 off of that 89 hold. I recently bought and tweeted out on Friday that I bought more Microsoft and more Google. So these are in my account at some good levels now. I mean, Google's in there. It's my largest holding, so we're just adding to it. But I was just thinking like, hey, you're already up 2.5%. It's double the market right now. I feel like we could take this out any minute, 89, but I want to be short into that. So let's give this some love. If the market does pull back, and again, we're above 11,000 now, wouldn't be surprised if we test 11,000 and fail, and then get back into like this 10,900 area. So let's see. And again, I know, short Google, long Tesla doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but let's just sort of play off some of these levels. And then advanced micro again. I've been in this one literally all day, man. Look at this move for AMD. I'm getting out at 62.50. If it breaks 62.50, I'm out. This is still a long from right there. That was such a great reload at 61. Man, my throat is getting worse. That was such a great reload there at 60. This is how you know I've lost my voice, because like, it's getting worse the more I talk.
You know, let me just say quickly.
You take it over. I'm going to go reload the tea. You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Give me
I was going
5
to
minutes.
say, yeah, Sean doing the most, obviously, struggling through it, but still doing well. So, you know, hats off to that. Yeah, Tesla pushing back down now towards that 199. So I think safe to say 199 is going to break here. Man, that was definitely the right call to just get out of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get back to that 200 and then test it. This is sort of like a, you know, like it just size at 200. If anybody wants it, we print there. That was silly not getting out, but I, you know, stuck to my guns, tried to stick with it, and no big deal. If we inch back up, I think, you know, maybe worth a stop order long through 200. If we get back there, I'll revisit it, you know, when we do. DWAC just continuing to pay myself, giving that little bit of a topish pattern here, still holding on to more than half the position because I just, you know, as long as it's showing me that it's going to hold this 50 period, I think it's worth the hold, right? If we break through, see, a lot of traders right now are probably scared of the flush. Scared of the flush, maybe we like flush down and instantly get to 25. So obviously it's on my mind, but every time we don't do that, I just think like, why are we not flushing to the downside? Could it be that we are going to just keep going up? So, you know, obviously continue to watch your orders, make sure you're managing risk. That's possible, right? This thing can just flash down to 27, 26. I just kind of feel like if we do that, you know, maybe build back into the long. We still got an hour to go, you know, power hour ahead here. So definitely very, very interesting. People were asking about Lyft as well, which we're having earnings coming in after the bell on Lyft. So let's take a look here. I did not trade this today, but obviously, you know, earnings coming in, it should be spicy. Maybe get a spicy setup for tomorrow. Up 2%. sort of sideways. Yeah, I don't really know I hate this pattern. Anytime I see this on the minute where something flushes and then kind of inches back to the high a day, it's like it's hard to justify a long. It's hard to justify a short because, you know, it is up. It already touched VWAP. Not really sure what to think. But yeah, definitely an interesting look. And maybe the daily has something to offer here with, you know, some levels to consider. And make sure you are mapping the implied volatility if you are taking trades, or I should say gambles, into earnings. Anything can happen. You know, your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, this area down over here, you know, call it 11 to 12 area, seems to be daily support. And, you know, a name like this obviously came down far away, right, being at 50 well before. You know, I can't see it selling through 11. I just can't see it selling through 11. This is my gut feeling on earnings. You know, maybe we do get that pop, but keep in mind, right, higher low, higher low. So, you know, are we going to pop to 17, go a little bit of sideways, and then kind of open up at 15 tomorrow? That would be my guess as a, you know, from a probability standpoint. Maybe that's kind of the best option there. Somebody also was talking about AMC in the chat before, and oh yeah, man, I got my eyes on this one. That $5 level, not really sure what to expect. Sort of inched its way down there this morning, or I should say in the afternoon, but not really showing, you know, that 5 level, what's going to happen. This thing is just like, this is just dying. And I think, you know, I think AMC earnings is tomorrow after the bell, so Tuesday after the bell. If for whatever reason this pops, this is, I think, an A++ short, just because, you know, it's showed you time and time again that this, just any time that it pops, it's fade the pop, right? Fade the pop. It is just trending downwards. I'm sorry for any AMC holders that are long term, but, you know, at this point, hopefully you cashed out because, yeah, I don't really know. You know, I told you guys the story before. I was talking to my friend's aunt, who was like, oh, I'm long AMC. I'm holding from the bottom. And I think she just held from like $2 or $5 all the way to like 75 and sold nothing. She was like, yeah, it's going to 1,000. I was like, you gotta sell some. Come on, pay yourself along the way. That's absolutely crazy. But should be interesting tomorrow after the bell on AMC to see what we get there. Meta's still working for me, but I'm just kind of waiting for that 96 to break here. Maybe the right idea is to scalp some out in front of the 96, giving you sort of like a double top right over here. But you know, the fact that we kind of dip and then come back up, the overall market is still holding up. We are still above that 38.10. I think this wants to, you know, there's a chance that we get through 96. So I think I'm going to change my orders on that one. Maybe see if I can get some out closer to that 96 level. And this is just, this is kind of, you know, discretionary. It's like, see how it's holding there's a pre-market low, you know, got sideways action, running up, holding this level, 94. And again, remember, Meta announced that they were doing mass layoffs. Mass layoffs are to come. And so Meta's been so weak for so long, and it's sort of like a buy the rumor, sell the news, but in reverse. It's sell the rumor, cover the news, I guess you could say this time around. So, you know, that 94 level into 92 could act as somewhat of a support level. It is up 5% today. And so with this in mind, you know, this is kind of channeling definitely an inside day, but, you know, maybe we hold the 50 period, we run to 96 and then push 96.50. Could be good for a 50-cent scalp. That's kind of my logic on this. I think, you know, if we get back to VWAP, then I'm definitely wrong on that trade. And I'm not sure if there's going to be enough time left in the day to keep going with that one. And last thing I'll mention here before I pass it back to Sean is Amazon. People asking, what is Amazon doing? You know, what's happening next? That's a good question. I think, well, I just want to say that 90 level, you know, sometimes these levels are recyclable and you kind of play these levels over and over and over again. And then it goes through these levels, these key levels. And the reason I say 90 is because, you know, huge, like psychological, it's like 90, 95, 100. That's kind of my take on this. And sometimes it just goes through 90 so many times that the level is just not in play anymore. And then it just becomes an area. And so with Amazon, you know, this morning, having that sell-off, dipping, showing you that it wants to hold that 90 area, then finally breaks, dips to that 89, and then bounce. I almost want to say that 89 is now more significant on Amazon than 90, and now sort of inching its way back up. I would not be surprised, you know, if the market, for whatever reason, wants to continue to rip higher, you know, what are the names that are going to lead? What is going to continue moving higher? Or are we just going back to VWAP? If, you know, Amazon could easily be, you know, through 91, up to 92, but yeah, I just want to say that that 91 is like resistance and the 89 is support. And so for the rest of the day, you know, we got maybe an hour left here. For the rest of the day, it probably, you know, channels, unless, you know, the overall market wants to continue to rip higher and go to that 38.30. As I look at it more and more, it kind of feels like maybe ahead of midterms, it's not going to have the steam to get there, right? Somebody mentioned in the chat saying midterm rallies starting now. And I was like, I hope so, because I'm going to get long and hopefully it runs into it. But you know, it kind of feels like we could slow down and then just go sideways. I don't want to say that we're going to go back through 3,800 and tank. It just doesn't feel like that type of day right now. But yeah, easily we just go sideways. We really do nothing. We get a little bit of a dip and then a pop. So all these names are going to look the same. And with that in mind, you got Amazon 91 here, maybe worth a short the first time. And maybe I convinced myself into that. Yeah, if we get back there, I'm going to try a small short. But I'm not going to be stubborn with this one. If it goes against me even 20 cents, I'll probably just jump out of that.
All right, thank you, my friend, for that. We have gotten, I just spoke with our, I don't want to say lunch lady. I don't know what, lunch.
In a nice way.
Kitchen, yeah. So she is going to look into getting honey there. So that should be really nice because right now we have a lemon ginger tea and it is no problema right here. This is a pretty cool cup. It says no problema on it there. You can't, I don't know if you guys can see that.
Hey, you gotta flip it.
Yeah, no problem. There it is, no problem. Ay, ay, ay. That's hot on my hands. Okay, just quickly here before we go. Google right now, looking to take out 90, so, or sorry, 89. So I got you confused with Amazon. It's funny because this morning when I was trading Amazon and Google, they were like the same price. And I was like, what chart am I even looking at here? So yeah, so Amazon and Google right now up to 89 bucks. If it takes that out, it's the level on the 20 period right here that I was interesting about right there. So I'm debating just pushing this thing long through 90 right now. I have another bid coming out. Okay, so DWAC, by the way, I don't know. Are we supposed to throw to Brendo, by the way? Okay, let's go to Brendan. We just got taken out of DWAC, minus $1 on that one. What's up, Brendan?
Just noticing this one, guys. One from this morning. Veru, V-E-R-U, just popped back up. You can see a little bit of volume coming back in, back above 1425. Huge day, though. If you go to the daily chart, look at the volume on the daily chart. It's just monstrous right now. Surprisingly, however, absent from this list right now, which is the top in the U.S. landscape as far as volume is concerned, all the usual suspects. Palantir is here, Tesla, NIO, Meta, and Apple. DWAC, top of the gainers. DWAC warrants, top of the gainers here as well. But surprisingly, this one not on that list today, even though it's done a decent amount.
Forgot about those warrants. Yeah, you can trade those warrants for a lot less value. Oh, yeah. Might be something to look at there. I misspoke. It's lemon and ginger. What's up? Where's that camera? Is that over there? Where are we? Yeah, there it is. Hey, what's up? What's going on, camera? Camera 2. But no, we are, yeah, lemon ginger. So we're getting locked and loaded on that one. Yeah. So there goes DWAC. Look, it broke. It just broke for us. For me, and this is the thing, there's trades where you lose on, and Neil talks about this all the time. There's trades where you lose on where you're upset that you lost because it violated some kind of a rule or you punched, not a keystroke. I'm just talking about like, you know, stocks where you get in and you look back and it's like, why did I do that, right? I'm not going to have that response for DWAC. I mean, I wanted the long through 28. It broke, went to 29 and stopped, retraced back, bounced off again, 27.50. We went long on the 28 break. Thought it could work, didn't. We take it down for about $1. So there's the out on the 27 break. Now, I mean, now you'll be mad when you reload or you don't reload and this thing goes to 50 or something. But again, you stick with your rules. That's why it's not even, it's a drop in the bucket. It's a loss, fine, but it's not, you know, like I've lost more money on Apple today, and you got to structure your trades so that if they go wrong, you have a unrealized profit or loss that you can handle, and the same way on the other side, once it's realized, has it shut you down for the day? Has it changed your mood? Has it like fogged up your brain? Things like that. Like you can't get mad about trades that don't work when they're simply following patterns that you were looking at. So on that note, let's go. Google right now, nice little move to the downside. We average into that one off 89, and this is what I was saying. We had that 89 level. I liked it. I feel like the market right now could retrace a little bit. So I'm going to take that short. If it takes 89 out and we lose on it, you win, Google, right? And I mean, that's great because that's the way the stock market moves. So you got to take some risk, kind of put your money where your mouth is at some points, and you know, trade accordingly. So we're going to do that. We continue to do that on the show. I just took out a 68 there for 10 cents. We'll see if it floats down. I do have a 60 bid as well coming, so hopefully that'll get taken out, and we'll see if we can retrace back to some high spots for us on the day. So one name, Luca, I know you may talk about DWAC. I don't know if you had any Microsoft trades on today, but you want to talk about a name that is off and that is on one today. Wow, Mr. Softy is in the building. 223 bottom, 228 high without even blinking an eye. High and eye. That was pretty good. Right there matches with your favorite drink, which is rye.
Right, absolutely. And I want to quickly comment on that Microsoft move as well. Somebody shouting out from last week in the chat saying, you know, the 200 period sitting on the daily, the simple moving average 200 period is right around that 216, 218. Now, I don't really trade Microsoft, so I'm not going to lie, I didn't bring it up on the daily, but I'm like, that sounds about right. And based on price action, it kind of feels to be the case. And look at this bottom out, man. Kind of bottoms out, goes a little bit of sideways. This is the 5 minutes, so this is going back to, this is, you know, 7th, this is Friday, this is Thursday, right? Having that bottom out pattern at 214 to 216, and I kind of hate myself that I wasn't long Microsoft into the close on Friday because I did want to get the bid, and I was like, no, I want to get it at 215. And, you know, just didn't get there, right? So if you have a bias, if you like the long and it's just not getting to your price, maybe it's because it's really going to take off. And, you know, this thing went to 220. It went to high day, went to 220, pushed and held. And look at this, just riding the 50 period super clean, bouncing once, bouncing twice, now sort of off to the races and probably going for that 230. Now, keep in mind, prior resistance level before the sell-off. This was the, I want to say GDP number coming out, if I'm not mistaken. And so, you know, or jobs number. And you have that resistance at 229 into 230. And so I think maybe, you know, if I had to guess where's resistance coming into this name, maybe it comes in at 230. But this is just like clean move to the upside. I mean, look at this. You're getting the dip buys, right? Buy the dip makes sense. Don't buy the highs, right? Buy the dip, and you're just getting paid along the way. And yeah, this thing probably holds trend right now, maybe sideways if the market wants to go back up. You know, Microsoft is strong, right? So when you're looking at things and you're saying, what are the strong names if I want to be long in a kind of, you know, market that I'm not too sure, you know, Microsoft seems to be the play for now, making its move back to the upside. But yeah, again, no trades on it for myself. I'm just kind of managing my positions right here. Coin short is actually starting to work for me here, moving back to the downside. Coinciding with, you know, not really sure these 50 period and 13 EMA mean anything right now. I really think we're going to get that flush to at least 56, and then that's going to be my first target. If I'm, yeah, 56.50, we get a flush down, and then I'm going to be discretionary at 56 and below. Can we get to 55? I'm not 100% sure, but I think at least at 56. So, you know, take the winner, pay myself there. And going back to this meta trade, now sort of making its way back up. So now maybe we get that 96 test. And I think I'm going to have orders out in front of 96 just to take some off there. Probably feels like the right thing to do just if I had to guess. And yeah, man, DWAC, this is why you pay yourself, right? This is why you pay yourself, because now I am, what, 15 cents is basically flat. But now I'm out of the money on this trade, right? And I'm just wondering, why is it actually sort of slow and holding this level? Like, you know, not so much the waterfall flush that I actually expected to happen, and I think it's just a product of, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. And so if this is day one of, call it, you know, the move up, and if this has potential to actually get a multi-day run going, you know, maybe it is going to hold trend, right? So obviously from a day trade, you have to be very careful, because if you're long from up here and it starts to move against you and you're planning on covering at the end of the day, well, you know, you could lose, right? You could lose, obviously. But I'm going to still hold on to this piece because I almost want to say that, you know, 25 is going to hold. And I'm comfortable taking the L. Like if this goes through 25 to 24, I'll be comfortable taking that L. It will be a little bit of a bigger L, but again, it feels like it really is in play. It feels like the bid is holding up here, and you know, everybody wants to buy the dip on something until it actually dips, and then everyone's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should short this now. And I have a bad habit of doing that as well. So you know, it seems to be holding. This is when the volume came in. This is when the run started at 23.50, and it is making, you know, higher lows. So this might be painful to hold through, but I'm going to try and hold and see where this goes. You know, if we're holding this reason, I mean, I'm not out of the money, so, you know, like it's easy now to hold. But, you know, if we get down to 25, maybe it'll be a little bit of pain, but, you know, are we going through 24 before the news comes out, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So I don't want to sell until, you know, unless news comes out. And guys, let me know if that news comes out, because, yeah, maybe I might miss it, and then it flushes and I go, oh, what's going on over here? So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. And going back to Tesla very quickly, just to see where is this? Are we above 200? Yeah, no, 200 was the short at 200, the cover at 200. That was the play. I sort of punched the bottom. Oh, that was pretty nasty. But I mean, now it's still down there anyway. So yeah, I mean, I guess for myself, it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, keeping an eye on that 200 for sure.
Okay, so on the DWAC news, first of all, we're going to play something for you. What I consider the best day in Trader TV Live history. We're going to play that for you in 1 second. All 4,000 people watching should hopefully hit the like button after this. But just real quick, we just got out of our AMD right there, so that's a good trade. That's about about $1.30 or so right there as we get out. I do want to go long too if we take down 62.80 right there in AMD. So if we could take that, we're going to go long through 62.80. And there it is again, another fill for us on Google as this is starting to work to the downside as well. And we are out of Tesla because it did take that 199, whatever that level was there, 199 flat, or what did I get out at? Yeah, unfortunately it did take that, so we got out unfortunately because now it would be 40 cents in the money, but here it comes right back down. So again, nothing to do with AMD unless it takes out the top. Okay, so because we talked about DWAC there, I'm never going to forget this. There was so much energy. My voice was back. And let's roll the clip now. This is when DWAC was going crazy there on its I don't know if it was its IPO day or obviously when it was a SPAC. This is also Trader Prad's favorite moment of all time, I believe. So let's roll the clip. Watch this if you haven't seen it yet.
His rally cap on because it's going to be one of those days, guys.
Bang, DWAC right now, guys. 100. We are at, wow, now we're $3 in the money. $7 in the money.
To me, that's just too reckless.
Bang, through 100. There it is, man, all the way to the upside. And there's a $9 winner.
Quick scalp there. I'm doing this thing where I'm like reading the tape.
Have on our good luck new Air Jordans again. $13 now in the money. We have a $20 winner right now. I have the cheesecake is in the building. Sure, we'll calm down. You know, we have whatever. $30 now in the money. No point even looking at anything else. $35 winner right now. $37 winner right now. There, 25, 130. Let's go. $40 in the money right now on DWAC. What just happened? 175. Oh man, that was monstrous, man. And of our trade, and now it's 150, 160, 164, 169, 172. We are now higher than where we were off the open, guys.
Got to start taking some profit out. This is 950 to.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun times. I just hope those times come back. You know, like, we're sitting here being like, okay, DWAC, yeah, buddy, 30 cents. Winner, hit the register, 20 cents. Awesome. But that day was $40, $50, $70 in the money as DWAC started going absolutely crazy. So let's see if we can revisit that. But that was really fun there. You saw Neil, like, you know, looking there. I don't think he had the trade on board there. But I know Prad Dad did over there. It's funny because his Twitter's now Praddy Daddy. I just saw that he changed that as well. So that was a lot of fun. Were you on the floor that day? I know we were all at home. And
I wasn't here. But that video right there, you know, I think it's on Prad's Instagram too that he had it posted. I watched that time and time again because that is so exciting. And again, it's like, when's the next time we're going to get some moves like this? Like, I really do hope. Somebody in the chat said, you know, DWAC 100 coming soon. I really do hope so. And I hope, Sean, you have your voice back before that happens because...
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you know, it's it's definitely exciting. But yeah, you know, that's the thing with trading, man. Things come and go, and it gets really exciting, and then it gets slow, and then it gets exciting again, right? So hopefully we get more excitement along the way. Man, that video, that's crazy. I'm actually happy that I was here to watch that. That's crazy. Relive the memories, and I'm sure a lot of you guys were watching that day, you know, trading that day, remembering how crazy things can get. So yeah, word of advice: save risk for when things go nuts, and then partake in that. Obviously, you know, like today things are going well. Coin short sort of slow, but again, a little bit slow, and you know, just kind of chilling here, enjoying the time. Yeah, and the fun trade too, right? Fun, obviously sympathy play to DWAC as well. Man, I remember fun with it was like what, like 14, 15 bucks. It hit like 23, and I don't know if any of you guys were watching that at the time, but fun actually broke a high on that day. That DWAC went crazy. Fun broke a high, broke through 11, and just never turned back. It was just off to the races and just like ran. And I think like that was probably, I remember watching Fun. That was the easier trade for myself, and that was absolutely insane, right? So Fun to 300. I think DWAC is a higher price than Fun. Keep in mind, Fun right now is $1. Oh, maybe you mean $3. That would make sense. It's $1.50 right now. But yeah, no, 300 would be insane unless there's like some type of reverse split there, or maybe I'm missing something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, no, definitely exciting. Like, and yeah, guys, hit the like for that because that was crazy.
I mean, what was I saying? The cheesecake is now in the building? Like, I don't know what's going on with that one. But that was a hell of a lot of fun right there. So, again, yeah, thanks. And, yeah, hopefully tomorrow's that day again, my man. So be here locked and loaded. We'll see what happens with Funware and DWAC. And we've had some crazy trades on AMC and all that as well. Okay, so I'm kind of torn right now because Google's heading to the downside. We've got a great short on board right now. It's only 15 cents, but I'm sort of torn right now because we're getting ready to go long right here on AMD. It looks like it wants to break this 81, 82 level. So it's like I'm going to go long AMD, but still be net short on Google. So I'm kind of like, let's just take, I'm going to take another piece out right there. We'll just get out at 66 there. Another piece anyways on Google in case that move is sort of now muted to the downside. I don't know. You know, we're taking, it's 17 cents. I mean, we're taking some profit here. We're only out of 40%, and there it is. So there's the tick. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, there it is. There's the tick long in AMD. So we just got executed on this trade to the upside. Where's my target, honestly? You know, we'll take something. If we get to 90, we'll take a piece out there, just very, very small. I always do this. Scalp out a little piece quickly just to make sure we capture some of the move. The reason why this one's a little more nerve-wracking for me as opposed to the Google trade is you're running into this pre-market level of right here, like literally right where we're at. So I don't know, man. We made a nice move early up to 63.50, but then faded all the way down. Can we repeat itself? Yes, we can, but we're going to go long right there now. See if we get a little bit of love up here to 90. It went in the money. I mean, the break I have is 83. Realistically, we could have taken 80s. So now it's all the way back down. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I hope we don't get stop hunted. There's no way that, you know, this many people watching is going to have enough to do anything about this. But I feel like this 50 period probably needs to be respected. It's down there at 62.60. So that'll be a 20-cent hit. Hopefully we don't have to have that. We can take a little piece out here as we go through 62.88, go to 62.90. I am waiting there to get a piece out. So there it is. Yes, sir. We take that out. So far, so good. Here we go. Nice little 10 cents in the money on a quick little rip here for Advanced Micro. Give it to him, Brendan.
We were talking a little bit this morning, guys, if you joined us pre-market, about how the midterms can affect the market and create these big moves. Here's one of those. GEO in New York, GEO in New York, operates minimum and maximum security prisons. So having a big day ahead of what is to come tomorrow, up 6.5%, just took out the highs there on a decent volume spike.
Yeah, you know, just quickly to comment, GEO is the Michael Burry long.
That's right.
There was a stock from like 7 or something. You know,
where's that at?
Now it's up 6%. This thing's at 9, pushing 10 here, and I gotta quickly look at the daily here because I wonder. You know, Michael Burry, very, very smart man, and I think this was the initial run. So back early August, you know, doing lots of volume. So I'm assuming that's when the initial run came. Just below 7. Look at that, man, holding trend. If you didn't get a chance to buy it on that day, you know, don't FOMO in at the top, I'll tell you that much, because you buy the dip, you're in at the same price, and this thing is now actually making the move up there. Yeah, maybe we actually get a 10 test, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. You know, not to say that volume is light, but again, 2 million shares traded, 3 million shares traded of a $10 stock. It's not crazy, but that $10 level maybe coming in tomorrow, maybe you get a multi-day push to the upside. Definitely exciting there. This is not... You know, there's something. You know, it's obviously a momentum play to the upside, but this is different than, you know, trading something that's really going to move versus trading something that's going to move, but, you know, obviously more of like an XOM or more of like a New York name, not so much a NASDAQ name. It is a New York name. And to the person in the chat, if you're still here and you were asking, what does NQ mean? For our software Day Trade the World platform, this is just basically on the New York Stock Exchange. If it's NASDAQ, so, you know, if it's like something like Meta, which I'm in right now, which, by the way, is working for me, pushing 96, what is this, 43 cents in the money. This will be NASDAQ, so it is a NASDAQ name. Yeah, Meta's actually working nicely, and I don't know where. I think like 96.50 gets tested. I don't know. I mean, my logic is like maybe we get to high a day, but yeah, we're now in power hour. Do we really have the steam to push all the way to 97, 98? Like, I don't actually think so, because I thought we'd be higher. I thought this consolidation wouldn't happen here. So I'm sort of scaling myself out. I think we could get to 96.50. So I just have orders layered to take me out in front of that, not trying to, you know, pick a specific price, just sort of the area in general. That's kind of my take on this. So yeah, it is working, and I'll let it continue to work for me. But yeah, man, that GEO, that Michael Burry, man, next time he makes a call, I'll be all over that. And I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold because, yeah, it looks like he's doing well on that one. That's for sure.
I'd like to find out when he got into that, what it looks like after that fact before we anoint this guy king of anything. Remember that guy was short Tesla as it went up about 4,000% in 2 years. No, I'm serious. Yeah, so we'll see what's going on with that. But nah, I mean, these guys have been, that's the thing. You got to follow smart money. And I think you're right. When you see people putting out tweets like Ackman and all that kind of stuff, there was, Netflix. We had some activist movement on that. And you see that went up nicely up to the upside right there as well. Okay, so for some reason, I don't know if we're on one or what again here, but like, the short in Google is working like a lot, and the long in AMD is also working. So, battle of two tech names here and two completely different reports, man. AMD came out and blasted everyone's face off with a great report, was up 5 or 6%, which I say blasted your face off. That was kind of out of nowhere. People weren't really expecting that from the chip names. So that was a good report. So you're seeing some sort of follow through here. Do I not have an offer at 99? I do. There it is, and there's the fill at 99. People said this is the kind of music that happens when we step into the club, like you and I, but not really. I mean, when I step into the club, they ask me to leave. So that's what's happening right there. All right, and then Google, maybe we could take another piece out at 60. I don't know. We could think about that. Oh, yeah, shout out to Playmaker. Next time we're going to live, and we'll have some fun there as well. What's up, Rendo?
Corsair, guys, another one that can get going if it wants to. Reported at the end of the week last week. It was Thursday after night or Friday pre-market. Big move on Friday through some recent levels here. But look at this, up another 11% for CRSR. Just took out the highs.
What stock was that? Corsair, okay, yeah. So another one of those sort of newer IPOs that are starting to bump up there. It's not new, it's a couple years old, but as some of these plays continue to work out for you, like a Corsair, like Roku's been beat up as well to the downside. There is some more. It's funny because my kid wants new headphones and stuff like that, so I might have to look at that. But look what's working right now. Big time trade.
Oh my God.
For AMD. AMD now breaks through 63. Oops. We'll take an offer there. Why not? We'll just take some 06s there. Or 0550, sorry. We punched the other way and got some mid prints there. That kind of sucks, but that's okay. All right, so now we'll wait. Wowee. So there it is, man. You guys want winning trades, guys. You guys want winning trades. Let's go. I keep meaning to do the other one. We did get a update that our new animations, Luca, are in the building. So we're going to try those out very soon. From that, thanks to Justin for organizing those ones. But there it is, man. We gave you this trade live on the air, and we gave you Google. So right here, this 30 cents for AMD, 20 cents for Google, 2 for 2 here so far today. And then the only problem was we got out of our Tesla, which was a winner net. We got out of 60% there, 30%, or the other 40% for 30-cent hit. So far so good there on Tesla. But yeah, here we go, man. Let's go AMD, man. Bringing that day back to life right now with a nice little upside move, taking out that high of the day right there for AMD. We found it for you. We took it. We traded it. Now we got to look to see what's next for this name. So just quickly, and I'll throw it back over. 63.50. I don't know. I mean, that wick high there was this morning, 63.50. So I feel like there's enough juice to get there. If it got there already, it can get there again. So there are some tops out here. And sometimes when you zoom out, Neil and I say this like, now I don't even remember what it is. Whenever in doubt, zoom out. That's what it is. Yeah. Sometimes it is good to do that. But sometimes these levels that you find, you're kind of like, looking for something. It's kind of like data mining. It's like, where do I get out? Well, oh, there's a little wick there, and there's another one there. And so, you don't want to look at it too carefully, but at the same time, nothing wrong with looking for support and resistance, as that's my number one strategy. So 63.20 right there. Let's get another piece out. We're doing pretty good holding, man. We got some out there for 10 cents, and we've been doing good holding the rest. So let's try to take this to the high side, even higher than this. 63.20 next spot.
Yeah, guys, coin is now pushing back to the upside, and I kind of hate myself for this. I had an order to get to cover some at 56.51. That was sort of my arbitrary target of, I'll take that, and then maybe we get the flush. And I was so close to it, and I looked at it and I said, oh man, should I just cover here because I'm so close, and if it goes back to the upside, then I'm going to kind of be upset. Now I'm still, basically flat, 20 cents out of the money, but kind of frustrating that I was just right there and missing the cover. So I think if this does go above VWAP, I'm not going to reload this short, but yeah, if we get over 58, I just don't know where this thing's going to close. You know, it could easily just, you know, close in this general vicinity around VWAP. So going to hold on for now and see what happens next, but not really too worried. Somebody was mentioning XOM, and they said XOM shorts are roasted. And I was like, say less. I instantly get long because I look at that and I see 114 just above. This thing is holding VWAP. It's showing you that pattern. Oil just proves that it wants to be strong. And, you know, every time I pull up XOM, I'm going to be upset initially because I should have loaded the boat below 100 on calls or even in my personal account, shares, whatever it be, because this is the move that I was expecting, you know, that hold of trend, move to the upside. Where's the top? I have no idea. I have no idea like how high this thing can go. And, you know, these are new, I think these are new 52-week highs on XOM, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And it just keeps kind of chugging along to the upside. Keep in mind that this thing was going up, and then on earnings, they announced an increase in their dividend. So not only is the stock performing well, but then they come out to investors and they're like, hey, guys, by the way, you know, we're going to increase dividends to our investors because, you know, that's the type of name that we are here. So yeah, XOM feels like, you know, the shorts are getting Is anyone short this name? Come on, who is short XOM? That's the question I have. But yeah, if anybody is short, you know, they are getting roasted on this. Continues to make highs now 114. Maybe we get a 114 break. I feel like I'm late to the party. You know, the long closer to VWAP probably makes sense, but yeah, if this thing wants to take that 114, then, you know, long right here, not really moving against me, in a very, very tight range. Not really sure how much time we have left, but I'm willing to add into this for that kind of push to 114. You know, I just don't think we're breaking VWAP today, right? That's kind of my logic on the day trade. But yeah, we'll see what happens next here, kind of building into this position very slowly and going for that 114 push. So we'll see what happens next here. Meta, very light on the position now, just kind of scaling myself out. It's probably going to go to that 96.50 if I had to guess. But yeah, did you know, a little bit of volume at the highs over here towards 96. I mean, I don't know if we get to 96. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But again, just light on the position. Logic is take the long before 96, a little bit out, and then kind of scale myself out. And now I'm not really too worried. If we get those wicks up, wick up to the top, you know, I get the fill. If not, I'll probably cover this at break even. If it flushes back down, then I cover at break even. So, you know, no skin off my back on that one. And yeah, that's the thing with DWAC, man. This thing just, you know, that was maybe the dip. And, you know, now we're sort of going back to the downside. Rejecting, maybe that 28 is sort of a level. And the reason I say that is because obviously very, very strong, little bit of sideways action, breaks above 28. Volume increases, looks like it's off to the races, instantly falls back, rejects 28, falls, rejects 28 again, and now back down. So, you know, 28 is the level to clear. I think if we clear that to the upside, you know, maybe we run for 30 for like an end-of-day push. But again, we do have 40 minutes left, so keep in mind, obviously we have to be out of position, so I got to manage my trades. And yeah, I mean, somebody in the chat was also saying, yeah, 100 seems far-fetched, maybe 50 is more likely. It's kind of crazy that we're talking about these what? Yeah, like 1,000 is insane. Like it's 300 maybe, right? And speaking of these insane kind of topics, while I'm on the topic here, HUDI, man, big oof. That's all I'm gonna say. This thing offering this morning, it was at 130, and I was like, I sat down and I said, where is HUDI? That was the first thing I did. Sat down, and this is what I saw. And let me just drag, this is what I saw. And I was like, okay, this thing is still at 130. And I know I had that call like last week of 169.69, which, you know, was just obviously 169.69. That was my call. But yeah, sort of topping out just in front of that 200. And this is just like, you know, this is entertainment. This is a game stock. But this thing, you know, offering at $25 a share and big oof. This thing just straight down, sort of consolidates just below that 40 level, and then just like flush to the downside. And look where it sort of stops, right? It just kind of stops at that 20, 25, and now it's at 16, 15. So, you know, just keep in mind if you're watching this for the first time, if you're looking at names like this, you know, these are names that if you do get involved, understand that this can happen, right? This can definitely happen. Like, this is not going to happen on Apple. But this can happen on these crazy names. What is it, a Chinese name that nobody knows? So it's like, it's a lot of fun and games on the upside. But you know, when it's a rush for the exits, when they're doing an offering, like you definitely don't want to be holding the bag on that one. So you know, that's why I love day trading, man. In, out, pay yourself, and that's it.
You don't know Hootie?
No, yeah, that's
you don't know Hootie?
I don't know. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what the name of the company is.
So
but,
I think it's I think they're a rock band, and there's something about a blowfish or something with that one. Hootie and the Blowfish. You ever heard of those guys? Is that too? You're too young for that. Oh man, Brendan, you know Hootie and the Blowfish.
Of course. We're old, though, Sean. You have to remember. Luca is very much not. A couple things moving right now. Veru just popped up on volume again, trying to curl back to the upside here. I wanted to show you this as well. Tesla looking like it might want to break downside here. This would be, if it closed right here, this would be the lowest close for Tesla in 17 months.
He really is Googling Hootie and the Blowfish. He has no idea.
Yeah, I just had to Google that.
Come on, bro. Even people are like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Well, how about, what was the other one? Luca looks like he's part of the Weezers, and I was like, I'm just quickly over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, anytime you
they
say
look
something
just
funny, and I'm just like, just give me one
Buddy Holly,
second over
Weezer
here.
song.
Yeah.
Buddy Holly?
Buddy Holly, sounds familiar.
I'm not even sure you know who Buddy Holly is. So, all right, I'm moving on this one. All right, I digress on all that. But yeah, it's great having you here, by the way. No, we're playing around. So yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish, Buddy Holly, Weezer, all that kind of stuff, fun stuff going through. All right. Not much to say. Oh, part of being diversified is that you hold way too many stocks, and I'm proud to say that I hold every single one of these names. XOM 52-week high, McDonald's 52-week high today, Eli Lilly 52-week high today. McDonald's, great producer, nice upside movement. You want to talk about a name that's been really rocking off report, man. Right now, McDonald's, brand new 52-week high today, up to 277. We're loving that stock. And then the other one, of course, was Chevron, CVX. So as oil continues to move to the upside, AbbVie, Eli Lilly, there's a couple names that are at 52-week highs, and just like Brendan mentioned there, the 52-week low spot for Tesla, yeah, back in the building right now. McDonald's, there it is. Gilead as well, a GILD 52-week high. Ooh, Tim Hortons, a 52-week high, holding it down with QSR, also of Popeye fame as well. So you've heard of Popeyes, of course. We like that chicken sandwich, although don't talk Popeyes around here because we have Super Chicken across the street. What's up with you and Meta? Because right now, I don't know if you're still in this name.
I'm in, yeah.
You're in it. Okay, so I've really liked Meta today. Nice upside climb. We hit the long. I mean, that's really the trade of the day down there for sure. Waiting, we knew we wanted long. We had to be patient. We fought it. We waited for that 200 period. It came through, and boom goes the dynamite. The rest is history. It's been pretty slow here, though, in the afternoon, like many stocks have been. Wow, man, we're only 35 minutes away. Time flies when you're having fun, Luca.
Man, time flies, and I'm trying to remind myself. Yeah, time. You know, we're approaching. We got about 35 minutes left to go, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to cover this DWAC trade. I feel like I'm giving cheap shares to anybody who wants them, but you know, it is what it is, right? End of day is coming. If that 28 breaks, we're off to the races. Yeah, maybe just hold it.
You can hold it overnight. You have my permission.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
All right. My permission doesn't mean anything, though.
I know.
Yeah, don't hold overnight. Actually, I take that back. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to hold overnight because, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to feel the wrath. So, yeah, you have to cover. And that's the other thing. We'll do this quickly here, just real quick. First of all, if you can hit the like and the subscribe, we've had some serious bangers on for you today. And by the way, AMD is 50 cents in the money. We gave that to you as well. So that's a chicken dinner winner. No matter how you write that one up, I might as well take a piece out right now for AMD. I mean, we took some out at 12 or whatever I said we would, right there at 20, sorry, and then another piece at 27. I mean, this name was just a banger from the get-go, man. This never went against us. It maybe went against us 5 cents. But remember, this was one of those trades where we're long at 80, we're out at 60. So now we're 2-to-1 risk to reward. So that's a good trade, taking that live right here. Don't let some of that money go out. I think I'm going to have my 4th or 5th one of these hauls. Thank you so much for the DMs. A couple of you are DMing me saying I need to get this looked at. Yeah, you might be right. But I don't go anywhere anyways. So we'll wait on that one. But what I want to say is Luca and I both, and all of us here at Trader TV Live and with Day Trade the World, you know, we trade on either physical contracts as far as the futures go. So you'll see, I think Arun's going to be in with me tomorrow. So you're going to see Arun with me in the morning. If he's trading, he'll be trading either the micro contracts or the full contracts. He'll also trade equity, but those are the options that we have. We do have the ability to trade futures contracts, oil, things like that. There are Forex opportunities here as well. But if you're going to see Luca and I in equity, we are physically trading those names. So they're not CFDs. Our orders go live to the market, and we actually have access to every single one of these gateways out here. So I can use ARCA, New York book, NASDAQ book, BATS, EDGEX. I mean, they're all here. We have ability to offer and bid any of these little spots here. So that gives us a great advantage for fees, able to control that. And then Luca will also talk about like tape reading and things. So we've naturally just sort of evolved into being able to read the level 2 and what happens on the time and sales, to the point where I used to even watch like the D's and the Z prints and like what gateways we're printing. So sometimes that'll be important as well. So that's what we trade here. And more importantly, going back to your comment about not being able to hold, Luca, we are not able to hold past 415 on any given day. So Trader TV is trading through Day Trade the World, and they take full risk in all of this. So it's not worth overnight positions. We are not able to hold them. There's no benefit for a trader. And again, the accounts that we trade, right? We have buying power in there, and it's a lot. So you got to be careful with sort of how you throw this around. But that's a little bit of talk on the structure and what we're looking at here on a daily basis. We do have the market on close imbalances coming out. We'll talk about that as well. But there's a nice out for AMD. It's pulling back a little bit. And this is the beauty about, again, having this direct market access. Like, there we go. I just took a fill at 17 and actually got paid $2 per 1,000 shares to do that trade. So we're out another piece there of AMD. Let's see where we flow the rest of the day.
Yeah, guys, so there you go. There you have it.
Tesla rip?
Yeah, somebody's saying Tesla going gone.
Downside.
The first thing I'm like, okay, here we go. It's above 200. Yeah, no, I guess you're mean to the downside. Yeah, that does make sense now. Now finally making its way back to the downside. Man, I don't know what to think of Tesla, but my gut tells me this $150 stock, which is like a $50 move to the downside. And maybe it sounds insane, but I think for sure we could get that 183 test. And that would be, if I'm not mistaken, either 500 or 600 pre-split, one of those. Anyways, maybe 183 is a key level. And then, yeah, do we break that and just keep going back to the downside? I have no idea. This is now below 200, making that 52-week low, bouncing off of the level. But look at this, showing you that 200 is now that resistance, VWAP resistance. I don't know what to expect for tomorrow. It's definitely going to be exciting. Are we going to be over 200? Are we going to be under? Are we going to tap 195? Are we going to go back? I have no idea what to expect, and that's why trading is so exciting for sure. But yeah, no, someone's saying it's not insane, Luca. Yeah, exactly. So like maybe Tesla, yeah, maybe 150 sounds about right. Some people are calling $180, and these are very bold statements, but I also will not be surprised to see that. What I would be surprised is if Tesla runs back to all-time highs, like 300, 400, like that would be insane. So yeah, no, we'll see where that one goes. Definitely a lot of excitement there. Just kind of nursing this XOM position, 30 minutes left. I think maybe one more push, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm just not convinced we're going back to VWAP there. DWAC, yeah, it's just unfortunate, but I'm just slowly not selling everything because I kind of want to, I don't want to sell and then we just like rip like in the final 30 minutes here. So kind of, slowly scaling out of this trade. And, still holding on. Yeah, if we run to 28, I'm like, I don't want to sell. And then we just go back up. And then I'm just like, okay, I just had to sell. So trying to hold on for that last push and see where it goes at the end of the day. Still holding on to coin. This is the thing, right? This is what I expected. Just kind of sideways, not really doing too crazy. Yeah, CYC saying Tesla 185. That sounds about right. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. And yeah, people in the chat were also saying Carvana, CVNA. Are they bankrupt? I don't know if you were saying, are they bankrupt yet? I think the question was, are they bankrupt? And it's like, man, look at this. Like, move to the downside and halt. Absolutely crazy. I don't know who called it on Twitter. There was a side-by-side, and they were saying they're similar to Open Door?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, Carvana is the next Open Door, and the side-by-side picture on that, I'm not sure if you guys saw that one. Yeah, kind of crazy to see this thing down at 7 when it was once a $400 stock. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, this is the type of market we're in, and when the bubble bursts, it's just not pretty, right? So obviously, hopefully nobody got too hurt on that one. But yeah, man, that's a crazy. That is insane there.
No.
That is insane there.
What the? I must have just made a keystroke and typed in the wrong price. Okay,
Meta, let's go.
We're out of Google, so that's fine. We'll drop down the money there. We didn't mean to get out of Google. I was going to give it to the high where we're short at, but we're out of Google now. No more long, no more shorts into Google. Obviously, we're 50 cents in the money for AMD, but that was a mistake. We did not mean to get out of everything there for Google. I meant to put a stop order right here at the top, 88, 85, but I see what I did. I put 89. I put the wrong price, so that's my bad on that one, but out of Google right there. We meant to get out of one time when it took the 50 period, but not two times. Thanks for everybody commenting, of course, about my stupid voice here. It is 100% not COVID. I'm not sick whatsoever. I'm literally losing my voice as we speak. So I'll have to figure that out later on tonight. Lots of tea, lots of honey, things like that, and I'll be back in the seat tomorrow. There's 0% chance I would risk coming in here with any kind of an illness. So that's like sort of me, Brendan, Neil, Brad, Luca, all of us. We are obviously thinking about our health first and the health of the people beside us. I don't want to get anybody else sick. And we have a full trading floor behind us. So we do respect those kind of rules. So there's 0% chance that I'm not even feeling any kind of ways. It's literally just my voice that I'm losing here. So, all right, but thanks for the concern on that one. We're just going to keep it real with you and just tell you the truth. I wouldn't be in here if I felt any kind of symptoms towards anything, let alone flu or anything. I mean, I don't know. There's kids. I mean, there's tons of stuff happening. Oh, by the way, our kids are going back to school tomorrow, so we'll hit. Oh my God. There was a couple-day strike there by some of the education workers, so I'm glad to hear that that was sort of temporarily. I haven't spoken to the wife fully yet about all this, but she's pretty happy about that. So good job there. Hopefully we can come up with a real solution that we don't have to worry about it. But again, let's just talk about what we're doing here. Nice little trade there on AMD. Nice little upside move here as we go. So there it is, man. 63.40. Good trade there for AMD off of that long. That was me getting out of this long. So we were long 61.60. We took it out there at 62.70. So that was about $1.10. And now since then, we've just been nursing this long as it's going back up to the upside. Thanks, man. Yeah, people say I look great for 55. That's great because I'm actually 57. So thanks for that there as we go. But there's a nice little move to the upside. Nice out for us at 63.40. Let's see if we can continue to hold AMD. I love for there to be more names. We talked about Carvana earlier at the beginning of the day. This is by far the most frustrating trade for me today because we talked about this in the pre-market. I paid for shorts on this, and I was like, as soon as we take out this low of the pre-market, we need to be going short. It happens, like not even in question, breaks it there at 9:30 and then goes on to halt down $1. That was at 8.60 or whatever that was there. Down $1, down to 6.60. Missed opportunities. There's Carvana. I think you want to short any spikes, but I think we'll be back to doing that tomorrow, not today. What's up, Brenda?
Coming up in 5 minutes here, guys, we're going to get live comments from Feds Mester and Collins, who are speaking at a symposium this afternoon. So not sure why they can't wait till the market closes, but Feds Mester and Collins coming up here in 5 minutes.
All right, so hey, Fed speak can change everything there, Luca. So you have more positions than I do, man. I'm just holding on to this one. I'm looking for some more that happened to come through. I mean, I still like that DWAC trade. I mean, to possibly hold that. You're back to 28. I mean, I've already, now my voice is going to crack. We're already getting, oh, wow. We're already getting out. We already got out when it broke through 27, but you're right back into the level again here. I don't know, man. Are we going to go for a run if we take down 30? That's...
This is the thing,
I don't know, man. You might get that excitement coming through.
Like, so obviously, I'm just like, yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah. So you're welcome to whoever I gave the cheap shares to. And we're now going to 30 probably. Every time this thing pushes higher, it's just there's no, I don't see any offers on the book, and I just see green on the tape, and it's just off to the races. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm going to cover the rest at 30. I mean, I can't hate this trade, right? This is like an absolute, like long, just cover, and cover a little bit more at the top there if we actually do get there. Yeah, you know, couple positions here. Maybe I'll just cover this coin short because it's just not really doing anything. Where am I here? Like basically break even. So yeah, it is what it is. Just going to cover this one and taking a little bit of an Amazon long here. I'm not really too sure what to expect, but you know, it is giving this sideways action, giving these wick off bottoms. Again, you know, we are approaching the close, so probably have to lighten up on these positions. But with the Amazon long, my thesis on this is maybe I wanted to short 91. We're getting these wick off bottoms. Are we going to run into that 91 overall market pushing towards the high of day, right? Let me just increase this for everyone to see. Still holding up, right? So this was the expectations, breaking through that 38.10, holding 38.10, so showing you that resistance is now support, you know, short term, whatever, and now we go sideways just a little bit. So yeah, if we grind to the upside, I don't hate the long here for the push, but yeah, if we break down and then go to VWAP, there'll be lots of volume there. So yeah, lots of volume, lots of liquidity, not too worried about that one. Easily can get out of that. And yeah, you know, we'll see where that one goes. And still, obviously, ooh, XOM. Okay, now I'm saying, it's funny, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to go below VWAP. And then here we are. I just kind of averaging in, moving against me, and I think, I don't know what to think now. But yeah, maybe we get a sort of little bit of a relief bounce. If not, then I'll probably have to get out of this position too. Not really too worried. And yeah, that meta trade covered the rest of it. Somebody in the chat was like, go meta. And I was like, oh, where? And I just look and I'm like, oh, we're all the way up here. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Takes them off. So yeah, fully out of that position. Can't complain. That's a winner. Throw that one up there. And yeah, we'll see where this one goes next here. I want to pull up Tesla one more time. Yeah, okay, this is far away from 200, so not too worried on that one. Yeah, 200 the level, so keep that in mind for tomorrow going forward. Someone's saying DWAC rug. Let's go back to DWAC just very quickly, just to kind of see where this is. I don't know, man. Rug pull to me is if this was down at 24.50, that would be a rug pull. Like, so 28 to below VWAP, like in like 1 minute, boom, that would be a rug pull. This is not really a rug pull. Like, this is just like, okay, yeah, we ran up, the volume stopped, the buying stopped, then we like dropped. But keep in mind, like, look at this move. We're at 21 this morning, now we're at 29. So call it an $8 move. This is, I mean, any other stock, this is a healthy dip, right? So yeah, I'm kind of happy that I held that and just kind of taken off slowly, like very, very light, very, very light. And yeah, I want to hold for 30 because I kind of feel like 30 is going to at least get tested. DWAC rug pull, please, haha. Yeah, I don't know if you're laughing, saying like that's not a rug pull exactly. That's my thoughts exactly. Yeah, that's definitely not a rug pull. Amazon still back down over here. Market pulling back. Not really sure. I'm going to add one more piece to this trade just because I'm okay to scale into this one. And then if we really sell off below like 90.30, 90.20, then I'll just take the all in that. That's no problem. Daniel G in the chat saying lift earnings. Yep, lift earnings coming in after the bell. Definitely going to be exciting. Not really sure what to expect. I didn't check the implied volatility on it. But yeah, make sure you do that.
What website do you check on that? Because we were asking about that before.
I think I'll double
go for
check,
it. Yeah, go for it. If you don't
Wayne
find it, we'll come back with
somewhere.
that. You guys let me know in the chat too, because we did talk about that last week, and I thought Brendan might have had a screen for that, but I was hoping that there'd be something that we could show on the show that was a free resource. And also, you know what? Michael Noss, if you're watching, I know he watches all the time, and unfortunately, I can message him right now. He gets back to me super fast. There might be something on trade ideas, so I'll check that account out after that as well for implied volatility. And what that means is just based on options, buying and selling of options and where they're priced, they can imply that, okay, based on this many calls versus that many puts, where are people thinking about this move? And also, there's more involved, but that's the general thinking there. So we'll see what implied volatility is for that one. I wanted to address something I saw in the chat. Now I can't remember what it was. Good hold there on DWAC. Okay, so then, this is what it was. This is a new trade idea that I had, actually. Amazon. So, look, this is one of the trades that I'm most proud of, to be honest with you today, is just we shorted that right away. We got out of a piece when it was like back to flat, but that was literally 10%. But there it was, just went all the way to the downside here today. Amazon stopped at that 89, but we identified that it was weak pretty early by breaking that pre-market bottom. So as soon as that happened right off the top, we were going to wait to get into trades. We've talked about being a little more patient. Feel like we've been doing that, but there's the move to the downside there for Amazon, and we should, unlike AMD, so this setup is almost exactly like AMD. So look at this. So here's AMD, almost I said. Barcoding like this, right? And then taking off. So let's go back over. I just popped in other halls. Let's go back over to Amazon right now. You see how it's kind of barcoding? But of course, I'm thinking about it the other way because Amazon's down today. It's been absolutely destroyed off earnings. So this is the kind of stuff that I think about when I'm writing the sticky note and when I'm looking into making plays on these stocks. It's like trying to figure out which way do we want, why do we want that way, and is it being set up to do that? So when I look at Amazon right now, it's 342. Brendan just gave it to us 11 minutes ago. Where was I? 400 million to buy into the close. That's not going to do anything to make my opinion different about Amazon. But if this name, just so you guys can understand what I'm looking for, you don't need to. I'm already in a name. It's 50 cents in the money AMD. But this is what I look for. Like, if this was more up here, Amazon, near 90.80, where I can give like a reasonable out, even 90.60 wouldn't be half bad, halfway in the way here. That's the right risk to reward. If the market was moving and it's not doing that right now, literally it's at the high, not at the low, then I would probably short this. Like if it broke here, 90.40, short it to the downside. But for right now, I feel like the long could continue to be strong. We turned that bear into a bull. We talked about that earlier this morning, and it seems like it's going to hold that. So for me, I would think a long through 90.80, no. take it the other way, flip it around, and think about it becoming a short. So if we can hover underneath the 50 period here on the NASDAQ, then I would think that there is a little bit of a downside move coming into play there. So that's that. Luca, you hold any long-term ideas or not yet? You haven't really built that account?
So I've actually put that on ice just because of the type of market that we're in. You know, it's kind of tough. Things are just bouncing around, and you know, it's definitely a day trader's market, as everybody knows. Things are going up and down. So much range intraday, and I definitely don't want to skew my own opinions intraday, so I'm not really holding anything. But I do look for swing opportunities when they do present themselves. And yeah, I don't hate the gold play, but that's like super long term. You know, I think it was I was having a conversation. I can't remember with who, and they said, you know, I don't know anybody who owns gold and is poor. And I was like, say less. All right, load the boat there. And yeah, see what happens. Somebody was asking on my
that owns gold and is poor.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, because it's if you're able to own a bunch of gold, then yeah, exactly. And
the thing is, like, before you start going investing in gold, I'm going to say that's probably the worst thing you could do.
It's
because
you're
young.
Risk if you're young.
Right. It's not. It's just like if you look at gold, and I can call it up here, GLD. It's good safe haven. Is it really actually? But it's like it doesn't give you the appreciation that an equity would have over the same amount of time. But I do like it. The only thing about gold is I'd rather you hold a stock that pays a dividend rather than gold itself. So think about that as you get in. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, everybody, you know, speak to a financial advisor. That's the first thing that I'll say.
Not after
you know,
me.
Don't listen to me. Somebody in the chat making me laugh
I'm
here.
on Meta, Google, all that stuff.
So I think Darwin's like, I knew a guy with a gold tooth who was poor.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's. I think you know, gold tooth. Okay, actually, no, I'm not gonna say it. But I was just gonna say gold tooth maybe poor, gold bars maybe not so. Yeah, but no, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, back to these trades here. Amazon now finally pushing back to the upside. We are 11 cents in the money on that one. I'm going to give it room to work. I think there's a chance that we can actually get closer to 90, 80, closer to the top of this range. So I'm going to try to hold on to that one. XOM is, I was adding into this. This is my plan. Add into VWAP with the thesis that, you know, VWAP is not really going to break down. And somebody was asking, what's your stop on this XOM trade? It's sort of discretionary. I just, you know, it's been holding VWAP all day. If it now wants to break at the end of the day, like, so be it. It breaks at the end of the day and I'm wrong on that. I'm basically like down 10 cents on it, so it's nothing crazy. But yeah, I'm going to let it sort of breathe around VWAP. Maybe, you know, you get a pop. If we do, maybe we get 1370s. But again, you know, it's the we got 50 minutes to go, so we'll have to see what happens next on that one. And still holding on to DWAC. But yeah, I'm running out of time over here and looking for that final push towards 30. Can we get it? I don't know, but I have my order there to take it if it does get up there. Just going to cancel some of these other orders that I had. And yeah, somebody was bringing up Apple as well towards that high a day. See, Apple's crazy because everybody remembers, you know, Friday was that huge sell-off. Like from 142 all the way to 135, like this is insane, and it was just selling all morning, all afternoon. Then we had a kind of relief bounce into the end of the day, and I sort of said to myself, I was like, there's no way there's this much selling coming into Apple, and we don't gap down. And I wake up this morning, and what do I see? Blah, 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 negative news, iPhone sales. And I was like, I knew something was there. I knew something was there, but I didn't really, you know, make any money the way that they did because they knew something was there, and they were dumping that. And, you know, it didn't really gap down. And I think a little tell here is, if all that selling, if negative catalyst, if holding flat, anybody who's short is like, oh man, I thought we were going to get a gap down so I could cover this in the money, but I guess not. And so maybe that's the reason as to why this 135, 136 is holding. This is obviously speculation. It sounds kind of crazy to say it out loud, but very, very sideways on Apple today. You know, not really giving you the range that it had on Friday, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised with that news coming out. So yeah, you know, approaching imbalance time now, 3 minutes to go. Definitely, you know, going to be exciting what we get on the close here. Yeah, everything kind of flat. DWAC 150 in the money. Market now pulling back just a little bit. I have no idea what to expect, but I probably have to lighten up on some of these positions now.
Mr. Wickens.
Maybe one for tomorrow, guys, that we can throw on the list to have a look at in the morning. But this little ARQQ, which is a quantum computing company out of the UK, having a big day. 50% to the upside, just testing at least day highs here once again for ARQQ.
That's my play. You give it to your kids.
No, wrong play.
No. Okay.
Don't give gold to your kids. Just don't buy in the first place. Look at that. He's like maybe 100 years from now.
I was like, gold is a 100-year play.
You
never sell.
Maybe.
And you give it to your kids, and then they give it to their kids, and then that's
But your kids will slap you and say, why don't you just give me one share of Apple? I mean, look.
They'll get that too.
Yeah, they'll get that too. But look, this is what I was going to just show Luca here because I know there's a lot of you, and I'm not. it's not that I don't own any gold, because I don't, but it's just, so if Luca closed his eyes 10 years ago and opened them up today, gold would be at the same price and he'd have no idea where he was. So it's just like, that's, you know, that's part, I mean, here's the chart. I know you can't, I wish I could fix this, but I can't. So gold right now in August of 2011 was $1,800. So today it's at $1,700. So it's actually, you would have lost money. Okay, so that's why I say either play some dividends or do something. Even if you bought the amazing bottom of gold in the last decade back here in January of 2016, you would have gone from 1,100 to 1,600. So that's my opinion on gold, but hey, you guys can trade as you want, like Lucas said there. Not, right, gold, exactly, Dean, there it is right there. He said buy gold mining companies that pay a dividend. Thumbs up for that one. So I should say I do own some of those companies. I don't own any physical gold, although my father-in-law, when my kids were born, was giving us like little silver bars and things like that, because again, old Italian guy feels the same kind of thing there where, you know, you gotta hold something, you know, like if you can't have it physically in your hand, it's worth nothing. You were wrong on that one, Papa, as it goes, but we'll see there. Gold, good investment there. But all right, so into the close. We're going to do this real quick. We do have the imbalances coming out. So what these are marketable shares that are coming into the close. So if you come on my screen here quickly, Luca, we are going to, you're Luca, Lucas, because we do have not too much time left before this goes. So we'll have the stock up here. We'll watch it. I'll call the stock up as we trade. Here's the market. We're 15 seconds away from all of these becoming active. Mullen was a big bid at 9:30 in the morning. Let's see what happens right here at 3:50. And by the way, bye-bye AMD, 65 cents is still going. Here we go. 2 and 1. All right, let's see what's going on. Uber with a sell, not a surprise heading into Lyft earnings. So let's click on Uber sell and see what that did for the stock right there. Yeah, so a nice little downside push there for Uber, looking to make lows here. 27.80 for Uber. Google with the buy. So there's a nice little shoot up for Google right there from 88.40. And there goes Google trying to go back upside. And again, we made a mistake getting out of that. Wish we would have had that short. That's another banger trade for you, that Google short. We just misstepped there and got out. Cisco, Pfizer, Intel. Neil was short Intel, I believe, this morning, but that's a this morning trade. So, wow. Was Neil short this thing? I believe he was. Intel right there, a nice little move to the upside. That's starting to go now. Apple, there's the one. How did I miss that? Look at that Apple bid. And there goes Apple. We shorted. This is my worst stock today, man. We shorted Apple over and over again to our own demise. But there it goes, man. AMD moving around, not really doing much there. But hey, that's the market on close imbalances.
Yeah, guys, let's just quickly talk about XOM. And here's the thing, man. And this is just maybe call it luck, maybe call it whatever you want. Look at that move off of the imbalances. I was like, there's no way that this chart looks the way that it does, and there's not a big buyer. And so, you know, imbalances come up. XOM shoots to the upside, and I'm kind of glad that I held on for that one. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. I was like, man, if this doesn't go my way here, it's going to really rip my face off. But no, that was a clean move back to the upside. So now looking not too bad, and I don't think 114, I mean, now it's really late. We obviously got like 9 minutes left to close. Got to lighten up on these positions. Not really sure how high we can go. I got my order scaled, but man, what a clean move back to the upside. And here's the thing. Maybe I got long a little bit too early, but, you know, a learning lesson for myself. When you are scaling in, maybe scale in a little more aggressively towards VWAP. I'm getting ahead of myself like, oh, yes, this is good. This is solid. This is going to run. But then we had to come down here, and it was a little bit painful, but, you know, glad that I held on. At this point now, I'm in the money, so it's just trade management in the next 5 minutes. You know, I'm sort of thinking, you know, maybe we get that push to 114. That would be very nice, but I think anything over 113.80 is a gift, right? So if I can get above 113.80, that'll be a gift for myself, and kind of cover that one and yeah, take it. And DWAC, let's just quickly revisit this. Man, pushed actually 29. Oh my God, I just missed my order here too. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna call it right here. It is
just
what it is.
Just hold it, man. Just hold it.
Nah, whatever. You know what? I call it is what it is. Covering some more at the top over here. And you know what? If it was gonna go to 30, it would have went to 30 right now. That's kind of what I think. If it goes to 30 now, like it goes to 30, and you know I can't hold anyway, so whatever. It's just you know, it's $1. So yeah, no big deal there. And yeah, now only long XOM for this move over the 80s. And let me just make sure my orders are. Let me just get some.
Yeah,
more
go ahead.
Yeah, get some more over here, and then hold the last piece for the 114 test.
So I think DWAC's going to move $5 as soon as the market closes, one way or the other, because as soon as liquidity is gone, you're going to see a sort of a vacuum happen there on DWAC. I think it does have a chance to move. Just so you guys, like, So I pulled up the Meta chart too, right? And I mean, what I was talking about gold, and there was a comparison there to US dollar and stuff like that, US dollar strength, I agree. There's so much more. That's why I'm saying, like, financial advice, like, you got to figure out your own situation and what you want to hold versus what you don't want to hold. Because I think it was you, Dan McIsaac, I just saw, like, what about Meta 7 years ago? Yeah, so there's what year are we in? 2022? So Meta 7 years ago, you're back almost to those levels again, man. And again, split adjusted and everything. But right there, $90. You're going to go back. I mean, it's only been around a decade, Meta, and we went from $40 in that decade to $400, which 10 times is a lot. It's not, you know, like Amazon's ascent, Google, stuff like that, Microsoft. Some AMD was $2 to $180 or whatever it was. So there's lots of opportunity. But yeah, Meta's another one of those names that's basically just took down 5 years of your life again and brought you all the way back to 2016 levels, where Facebook had like maybe not even 1 billion active users, I'm going to guess. Now they have 4 billion or whatever it is daily active users, but still, nice little move to the upside there for Meta. We all know that story. And look, just as fast as equities can go up, they can fall even faster. So yeah, you know, good call out there for some of you that are looking at equities and saying that, yeah, although gold might not have the crazy returns, you also don't have some of that risk. But when I could talk about gold, I would compare it more to blue chip stocks. And I guess Meta at one point maybe was considered that as well. Probably not, but by definition there, never made the Dow 30. Where's Twitter? Where's Twitter? It's gone, of course, as I see there on my I haven't taken away from my quote board yet, Twitter. All right.
Well, there's the DWAC move. Now actually
See?
pushing 30. Ah, my God. Okay,
DWAC
whatever.
is 32, man.
You know, when it doesn't happen, I'm like, yeah, it's only $1, whatever. I'll just cover it. Then when I actually see it, I'm like, oh, it's $1. I could have had that. Oh my God. Whatever, is what it is. No problem there. Yeah, now only XOM long, 24 cents in the money, still holding that for the upside. Hopefully you guys enjoying the show. I see we got 1K likes over there. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Hopefully you guys like that old school clip as well of the DWAC move. Yeah, I'm probably going to watch that again after the show just to remind myself of the good old times, and hopefully that comes tomorrow. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the potential of what's to come. Yeah, DWAC absolutely crazy. Congratulations to anybody who swung that from 16 into 30. You are so far in the money. What could go wrong now? The long can't be wrong. I shouldn't say that. Obviously, so many things can happen. But yeah, no, it's that was actually a crazy swing to the upside. DWAC to 100. I love how everyone's like 100. Like it's like, yeah, like 100. Like why would it stop at 75? Like 100 is where it's going, and maybe even 2. No, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And to whoever in the chat was like, take a position on HUDI. Yeah, no thanks. I'm just gonna say no thanks there because this thing is absolutely dead after the offering, down 91% now. Yeah, no, this is a write-off. On to the next. Yeah, and pretty much we got 4 minutes left to go here.
All right. Yeah, I figure like swinging. People are saying it's like a lotto. Yeah, I mean that's right. I think DWAC, you're playing lotto if you're going to swing this. That's why when we talk about holding something overnight, A, we're just joking because we can't do it here. But B, like if I could just say like as a trader, if you're out, I've done this before, right? Like, you know, you're long, like you just mentioned there at 16 or 17. And if you can take some out now, or you've already been taking some out, and then you hold half for the runner or whatever your risk tolerance is, that's a strategy, man. And I don't think that is like a YOLO thing. I think it has a chance to go. There's reasons why you'd hold this. So that's DWAC. I think it's a little bit different than an AMC and again, it doesn't matter. There's different. That's what I'm saying. There's differences here. AMC, GameStop had a share issue problem there where there was shorts. I don't need to tell you what happened with AMC and GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond and things like that. But Digital World Acquisition Corp, A, is still a SPAC. B only has 30, I believe it. I'm just going to say this. I don't know if I'm right on this, but I think there's only 30 million shares outstanding or something on DWAC right now. So yeah, so there it is right there. Yeah, exactly. Good memory. Sometimes it's still okay. 30 million shares outstanding on DWAC. So, you know, there are reasons for this name to possibly go to the upside as well, as opposed to an AMC. We need things to happen for that. So let's just check in on DWAC before we close this up. Wow. Exactly again here. The more I talk, man, the worse it's going to get. Telling you that right now. What's me shutting up is probably a good thing for many of our viewers. But there goes DWAC up to 30, so congratulations. Just a quick check. We did get out of AMD. I just put a trail. We got some out at 30 there. We literally had like nothing left. So I was like, if it breaks 63, let's get out. I don't know if it broke or not, but it looks like it did. So we got out there at 63 off. My last out was 63.30. So that's been a great trade. Man, now I'm starting to get a little exhausted here. Lots of talking today, lots of fun stuff, but we're going to be back tomorrow. But before we talk about tomorrow, let's look ahead and see what's on deck with earnings.
Yeah, a few of these will be discussed, obviously, tomorrow. Earnings, still big week, guys. There's a number of individual names that we'll be discussing on this board tomorrow morning. Make sure you're with us. Here we go.
Yeah, Neil was a little more excited about this board than I was, and I think he was only really excited about Lyft. Any companies, you're in a position, I know you got to get out of that, so I'll look at this, but I don't know. Honestly, man, I don't look at any of those. We have Workhorse that's on there. That used to be sort of an EV play that we'd look at almost daily. Haven't done that in a while. Be interested to hear what Activision Blizzard has to say as we still run through some approvals and stuff like that for Microsoft. So, yeah, I'm not super excited about all that. I mean, I'm more excited just to trade some of the names that we've been on today, honestly. Like Digital World, like Tesla coming through at the close today. Beyond Meat's near all-time lows as well, back down to 13 bucks. So there's that. There's some of the Chinese ADRs and things that we're really super excited about. So yeah, man, more news to come. That's why you got to make sure you sign up for our watch list. Over 30,000 members signed up for the watch list already. So that's been a big sort of windfall for all of our viewers. Completely free again. So make sure you check out the watch list with only 30 seconds to go here.
Yeah, you know, and something to point out just very quickly, Tesla at 197, there's some size there. It's obviously the end of the day, so there's no trade, 15 seconds left. We have to be flat. That's why you see that we are flat. But, yeah, maybe that 197 sets up somehow for tomorrow. Now approaching 52-week lows. Yeah, definitely exciting.
Cancel
but we got Tony
orders
on the bell over there.
Yes, we do. We only have 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. You start talking.
And, yeah, I just want to say, Tony, shout out to that shirt over there. Absolutely genius. Picking it up for the deal prices.
Did you hear the deal price on that?
It was like 75% off.
I know, but I know the exact price.
Oh, I don't know the price.
I talked to Tony because, Tony's a good friend of mine. We went over to talk to him during lunchtime and everything. He paid $1.80 for that shirt.
$1.80? What a genius, man.
$1.80.
What a guy. What a smart guy.
You can't buy a rag for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Tony there, getting the deals, man. I've never seen anybody wear like a Halloween pumpkin shirt like with so much like gusto than him a week after Halloween. I even said to the wife today, when are we cleaning up? We still have Halloween stuff outside. And she's like, well, we're going to switch it over to Christmas. So I think it might be out, might be gone there today. But yeah, Tony for president for sure, man. That would be my vote. That's 100%. Classic, Tony, classic. All right, Brendan, how did we wind up?
Positive, guys. So a nice start to the week after what happened back on Friday. Remember, all three U.S. markets negative on the week last week. So a good start to this week. 1% for the NASDAQ leads the way, 0.8 for both the S&P and the Dow. Yeah, negative at the bottom end of the board, however.
So maybe I'll get, so negative on the end of the board there. We talked about that. I'm still thinking about Tony because I'm reading. There's Tesla closing. Yeah, Brendan talked about this earlier. I'll just re-say it. Its lowest level since June of 21 there today on the Tesla close. So yikes. We'll look out for some more damage to be done on that name possibly tomorrow. Maybe we'll have Tony come by and talk to us about his trip at some point tomorrow. So, oh wow, the NASDAQ's still running here in the aftermarket. I feel fine. Hopefully this doesn't get worse. Hopefully I'm back tomorrow. I know it's going to be Neil. Neil's taking the day off. It's going to be me and Arun. And I don't know what's going on for the midday show. Sharif is back. I'm just glad that we can count on Luca here. So thank you so much for stepping up and in here for the close. You definitely provided some great insight on some of those trades there. And you had the DWAC, so that's a big one for that. We'll hit the siren for the DWAC trade. But yeah, why don't, so I'll do it. Big shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Pratt as well. Shout out to Lucas on the board today. It was a really fun day. Thanks a lot, Brendan. Shout out to Neil for the morning show and everybody else. Why don't you wrap it up?
Yeah, just so I will. I know you just shout out to everybody, but thank you to everybody in the back, everybody on the screens, everybody behind us as well. You know, it's nice to have a nice culture. Shout out to you guys watching as well. You know, thank you so much. Much love around the chat. Always love when you guys throw out tickers. And hopefully everybody had a great weekend and has a great week. Lock in those profits. Definitely super exciting. Midterms tomorrow. Inflation on Thursday.
Ooh, midterms.
So much to come. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a trader. And after that, I have nothing else to say. So, good night to everybody. And thank you for watching.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao.